Hello. If you can hear me, please say Medusa. That way I will know that you are now stoned. Alright. Let's see. We got some Medusas. Okay, a lot of stoned people in here. Good. Alright, so today is day 17 of the Final Fantasy IV translation comparison. And let's see, today we will be finishing up Toroia Castle. We'll talk to Edward, we'll talk to the priestesses, then we'll head north to the Chocobo Forest and do that a little bit. Then we'll head over to, well, first I want to get some equipment back in Baron, then we'll come back and then we'll go to the metal cave, magnetic cave. I keep messing up magnet and metal. When I listen to the VODs, I'm like, no, I meant magnetic, not metallic. So I'll probably do that a lot today. I'm just an old man. I'm old Sid man, and I'll make mistakes like that. Let's see. If we can, well, we'll come back hopefully from the magnetic cave, and then we'll do the story scenes there. And I don't know if we'll make it to the Tower of Zot or not, but I've slightly prepared just in case we have. My main worry is that I'm not leveled enough and I'm going to get my butt kicked in the magnetic cave. I do want to show what happens when you have a magnetic equipment, and then I'll switch to the right equipment. There's actually a lot of stuff to show off today, so I don't have a whole lot of intro things, but let's look at a couple. First is J2E is going to make a lot of mistakes today. One of their big mistakes that I remember seeing many years ago is that they mistook the word, Japanese word Jiryoku. Jiryoku, you can see on the screen here, means magnet, literally means magnet and power, or so that it becomes like magnetism or magnetic force. But the translator mistook it all the time for Jūryoku. Like, it's not Jiryoku, it's Jūryoku is what they mistake it for, and that means weight, power, or just in more actual terms, it means gravity or gravitational force. For some reason, I guess this was tough for the translator. I mean, it makes so much sense if you know FF4, so I don't know how they could have messed this up. But it's one that we'll see many times today, and they'll get marked off for it when we get to them. I've also included alternate spellings of how these words can be spelled out in English. So Jiryoku, if you're coming from native Japanese speakers, they'll probably spell it Z-I and then Ryoku. Similarly, Jūryoku sometimes will be written as ZY. That J becomes a ZY in the Japanese style, so it's Jūryoku, but it's still pronounced Jūryoku. I just put that in there for future reference, people learning or something. All right, so look out for, well, yeah, these can be your words to learn today if you want. Jiryoku. That Ryoku means power. You can see that it's kind of just two strokes. It's kind of easy to write. You can get it as a tattoo on your hand. You'll get stronger fists that way. All right, there's that. And then there's a chance that I'll forget to do this. But if you go to fight the Dark Elf without the power, without the TwinHarp or whatever, you'll get wasted. You'll get destroyed in one hit. Everyone gets 999 hit. So I looked online, someone mentioned this to me online, and so I pulled out the stuff manually, and we can see that everything gets it right except naming way. And so when the time comes, I'll either mark it off afterwards, or I'm gonna try to fake the fight using some cheat codes that some cool people developed. And Midnight Wonko and Wylam are to thank for if I'm able to do that or not. It'll make sense when we get there. All right, I want to get started, so let's go to the scene. They did not fix the gravity magnetic problems. It's persistent through all versions of the J2E patch as far as I know. But we shall see. It'd be funny if it was correct to begin with. Alright. Here's hoping we have no crashes. Alright, I'm gonna get some sound so I can hear. All right. We're going to go back into castle now, and then we're going to talk to the priestesses first. I'm going to talk to them because I'm pretty sure that I don't think things will change if I just talk to them. All right, so remember, we're here to get the earth crystal. We don't know right now that the dark elf has the crystal. So we're just here, we're coming to do negotiations with the heads of this place to get the earth crystal. So there are 8 priestesses. We'll talk to them one by one. We'll go counterclockwise. Okay. This priestess says, Tsuchi no Kristalu, the earth crystal, それがダークエルフに盗まれてしまって弱っているんだ. The earth crystal? Well, actually, the dark elf stole it from us, and弱っている. How does this go? Like, we are troubled. You can also say that they're weakened, but I'm not sure. Okay, just saying basically that the earth crystal is taken by the dark elf, and things are bad now. All right, Super NES, crystal of earth. Dark elf took it, and we must take it back. But ... how? So this but how part doesn't exist in there. Just to be picky, I'm gonna take that point off. And we must take it back was also not technically in the Japanese. Okay, I'm gonna take off point on that too. Looks like maybe a second draft editor came in and was like, players are gonna need to know more stuff. Let's give them hints. J2E. The earth crystal, it was stolen by Dark Elf. So I guess Dark Elf might be the guy's name. Like, it's just a person's name. He used to say the Dark Elf. In J2E, that's interesting. It changes a little bit. There's just some dude maybe named Dark Elf, or I guess some elf named Dark Elf. Where's the light elves, I wonder? Alright, the Yowatte Runda I would have liked in there. Alright, I'm gonna give Super NES a point back. Alright. Naming way. The Dark Elf took the Earth Crystal. We must get it back, but how? So we must get it back, but how was not in the original. And then like she's responding to our request for the Earth Crystal by saying Earth Crystal. Oh well, that was taken by the Dark Elf. This is just her shouting it at you. The tone could be better here. All right, I won't mark off though. Okay, Priestess 2. Oh, I forget how I labeled these in the on my site, so they might be labeled differently. Okay. This priestess says, Hokuto no dokutsu no naka de wa kinzoku sei no buki ya bogu o minitsukeru to ugoki ga nibutte shimau no. Okay, it's kind of long, but it's not too bad. It's saying, inside the cave to the northeast, when you have metallic weapons or armor equipped, your movements will get like dull. Your movements will end up dull. Nibutte, like less capable, to grow dull, to blunt, to weaken. So this is like saying like, hey, you better watch what you're equipped with in that cave. It's like a good hint. It's like really good gameplay. Alright. Super NES. Metals get heavy in the cave of the northwest. Oh no, they did it wrong. Hokuto is northeast. Northeast. Alright. There's no cave to the northwest as far as I know. So let's see. That will get... Alright. Then it continues. Your swords and armors of metal will be the same. It's specifically saying swords. Does that mean the metal hammer would work? For the weirdness, I'm going to take off a point on that one. Alright, J2E. If you equip metal weapons and armor in the cave to the northeast, you won't be able to move. Okay. Stuff is kind of like twisted around, but it's not wrong. And I'll say this is all pretty good. It's pretty good. Alright. Naming way. Metallic weapons become impossibly heavy in Magnus Cave. Your equipment will be no exception. So here's another problem. I noticed this before when Naming Way was referencing the Fey March. When you reference the name, that's fine, but you need to not just put the name in there, you need to define it. Here it's defined as the cave to the northeast. That's like a very important gameplay gameplay material. It's telling you where to go next. So having northeast is like the most important thing here, out of everything maybe. Like you can't even get to the cave if you don't know where it is. So take off a point. Alright. Your equipment will be no exception. I mean, I consider weapons my equipment, but let's just say that's fine. Also, when it says literally when they are equipped, minit sketteru, so like when it's actively equipped, that's what it says in Japanese. So this could just imply that having metal equipment in your inventory, it could apply. Like the genie, if there's an evil genie and you wanted to get around your wording, it could do that. That's like a little loophole, but I won't mark off on that. Alright, what is J2E? I'll just wear and equip. You can find the cave by looking at the map that came in the box. Alright. Okay, next priestess. Daku elfu nara hokuto no shima no dokutsu ni sunderu yo. So this one, okay, let me look at their politeness styles. Okay, kind of like casual, speaking casual. Casual, yeah. So these priestesses, like you would expect them to speak all high and mighty and lofty and all that. They're speaking pretty casually, like just someone you're eating at a restaurant with someone kind of thing. All right. This one is saying, if you're looking for the dark elf, he lives on a cave in the island to the northeast. So here's another northeast. Dark elf, okay, super NES. Dark elf is in a cave, so in a cave on an island over in the northeast. Okay, this is good. Would have liked, it's saying literally that it lives there, it resides there. I would have liked that, I like the idea that this guy the dark elf lives in that cave. I don't know how it got the crystal room there though, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe that's in the after years, that's explained, why there's a crystal room there. I won't mark off on lives not being there, but it got northeast right, so that's good. Good job. So you got conflicting information from these two priestesses on Super NES. Alright. J2E. Dark elf lives in the cave to the northeast. Alright. Deliveries on those two, Super NES and J2E, could have an exclamation, but it doesn't matter. Naming Way does the dark elf is in a cave on an island to the northeast. So Naming Way and Super NES, they don't give it a living place. It just says that's where it is. So we can kind of see that Naming Way is pulling from Super NES there, but it's fine. I would have liked the word the, but maybe Dark Elf prefers it without the. Who am I to say? Alright. This fourth priestess says, Kristaru ga nakunachau to areta daichi ni murochau wa. So if the crystal is gone or disappears, if the crystal no longer exists, or if we cease to have the crystal, then things will return to areta. It's kind of like just kind of like in Final Fantasy 1, that whole Earth place, you know how that place is like all torn up and dry and stuff, like arid and dry? It'll just turn back into like this lifeless land, lifeless wild land. So without the crystal, the land will turn wild and dry and all that stuff again. I don't know, what's a good word for that? Like barren? Like infertile soil kind of feeling? Just like really messed up land. Alright, Super NES. The land will return to desert, so I guess that's how they went with that. Just going with desert is fine. Without that crystal of earth. Earth isn't technically in the Japanese, but that's fine. But I like the fact that it's saying returns to, like, I guess the crystal fixed that or improved things. Super NES keeps that in with the word return, and I'm glad. Alright, J2E. The Earth Crystal has bestowed Toroia with the blessings of nature. If we lose the crystal, this region will become a barren wasteland. Yeah, that's pretty good. Barren wasteland for Arita Daichi. Like a wasteland. Just wasteland would have been fine. Okay. It did feel like some stuff was added in here, so let's take a look. This first line was not in the original text, so I'll take off a point on J2E. And we can see how it was just added in here from the old version. Oh yeah, there's you might hear some thunder in the background. If you hear thunder, that's real life thunder. It's not the dark elf getting angry at me. But hopefully thunder will happen at opportune times. Alright, if we lose the crystal, the region will become a barren wasteland. Okay, good. I actually kind of like that, so.
I miss you.
Naming. Without the crystal, the land will return to a wasteland. Would have liked that exclamation, but this one I really like too. So, what's a good one? That's good. I'm just pressing random buttons and I don't know what's coming out anymore. Yeah, so if these crystals are like so helpful, and then like we take them to the moon or something, right? What happens? And then the moon goes away. Does the land get all messed up? Alright, we're talking to Priestess number 5. That sounds like a record. Daku elfu wa kinzokusei no buki ni owai. So the dark elf is weak to weapons made of metal, or to metallic weapons. Sono jakuten o oginau tame, doukutsu o Jiryoku de oteru desu. So to like make up for that weakness, it has covered the cave in a magnetic field, or just magnetism. Alright, oginau, to compensate for it, to supplement for. So it's making up for its weakness, like it's intentionally doing this. Alright. Super NES. Dark Elf. Oh yeah, so by the way, I showed it earlier at the beginning of the stream, but Jiryoku is magnetism or magnetic force, and J2E continually mistakes this for Jūryoku, which is gravity, as we'll see. Super NES. Dark Elf is weak against metallic weapons, so he sealed the cave with a magnetic field. Sealed isn't quite good. I'll take that point off. Oteru is just to like cover, to wrap, to hide. It's not sealed. We can just walk right in. Alright. J2E. Dark Elf is weak against metal weapons. In order to defend that weakness, he has increased the gravitational field in his cave. So there we go. There's the gravitational field thing happening. J2E. I haven't looked. If you think this mistake was in the original patch, please type 1. And if you think this was introduced in the new patch, type 2. And if you think you want to do 100 times gravity training, type 3. I want to see what other people think. I haven't looked at this yet. I want to see. Mostly 1, so it looks like it might have... People are suggesting that it was always this way. Alright. Here we go. It was always in there! If you chose 1, then today is your lucky day. You deserve this. You got a 1-up for typing 1. Alright. Yeah, the actual changes in the modern patch are pretty minuscule. Alright. So I took one off from there for J2E. For gravitational field. That's wrong. Alright, naming way. The Dark Elf is weak to metallic weapons, so he girded his cave with a magnetic field. Girded is interesting, but that's pretty close. It's kind of interesting. Like, part of me wants to go and immediately look at dictionary.com or in all the dictionaries, see what girded means. I have an idea, like just kind of like cover, which would be equal O, but it seems good enough to me. We'll move on. Alright, we have sixth priestess. Kristaru o torikaesetara kasukoto o yakusoku shimashou. Okay, this one is actually more polite. Let me look at this one. This one is reasonably polite to us. And this one is casual. This one is quite polite to us. Using the mas form and like using the kudasai, omochi kudasai and stuff. So all these priestesses have like different little differences in Japanese that kind of fall out of translation. All right. So she's saying, if you are able to take back the crystal, we shall promise to lend it to you. Hitomazu koku ni o mochi kudasai. But first bring it here. First, please bring it here. Hitomazu, like an outline for the present at once, something like that. So first bring it here, please. All right, Super NES. If you can get it back, show it to us first. That's good. So they want to see it first. So they're saying to bring it back. That's what that last sentence is. I moved it there. And we promise to lend it to you. Okay, very good. I kind of really like that one. J2E. If you can retrieve the crystal, we promise to lend it to you. First, bring it back here. I would like more politeness in both of those versions, but that's okay so far. No big changes on J2E there. Naming way. If you retrieve the crystal, there should be a can. If you can retrieve the crystal. I would have liked that in there. Bring it to us and we'll lend it to you. First bring it to us. I would probably suggest putting in there, first bring it to us. Alright. Everything here looks good. I'm kind of pleased. So we'll do... Alright. Priestess number 7. Tsuchi no kristalu wa sashiageru koto wa dekinai ga torikaeshite shite kureru no nara kasukoto gurai wa dekiru jaro. Alright, she's speaking politely to us a little bit, but also she sounds like an older person, so we can kind of guess her age maybe. That or it's some kind of dialect, but most likely age. Alright. We cannot give you the crystal of earth, but if you can retrieve it for us, then we can at least lend it to you. Alright, that's how that all goes. Sashi ageru is like the more polite version of ageru. Yeah, you can see like humble, to give, to offer. So she's being polite to us by being humble. Super NES. You cannot have it, but if you can take it back, you may use our crystal of earth for a good purpose. No, it's saying that if you take it back, we will be able to at least lend it to you. This part is a little changed, so I'm going to take off a point on Super NES there. J2E. We cannot give you the earth crystal, but if you get it back for us, we can at least lend it to you. Okay, that's good. Okay, no major changes from the old patch. Naming way. If you reclaim the crystal, you could borrow it for the right reason. No, there's a lot that got crunched out of this. I wouldn't take off a point, just like a bunch got squished out. Alright, let's continue. Final priestess. Kono Toroia wa wareware 8 nin no shinkan ga osamete imasu. We 8 priestesses are in charge of Toroia, or rule Toroia. Osameru is, where do we go? To govern, to manage. Yeah. So we 8 priestesses. And using ware, which is kind of a fancy way of saying we. Tsuchi no kristalu no megumi o sazukate ita no desu ga. We were granted the blessings of the earth. He had been granted the blessings of the earth crystal, with the implication of thus far, but ... Sasuke. He received, be blessed with. Okay, we were blessed by the earth crystal's blessings all that time, but now ... It's kind of how that feels. Super NES. We, the 8 clerics, rule this country. Has this been always lowercase, or is this inconsistent? Rule this country. We used to have the blessing from the crystal of earth, not now. So it fills in the blanks that I was saying, the implication of not now, and just spells it out. It's kind of neat to see it actually spelled out. But well, I kind of like it. Right, J2E. Toroia is governed by us, the 8 clerics. Why is it in passive tense in J2E? That's so weird. That's a weird, weaker writing that way. In this case, sometimes it's not, but in this case it is. J2E. We were endowed with the Earth Crystal's blessing, but now... Alright. It's all in there. Good. Naming way. We 8 epochs rule over Toroia. We used to receive the blessings of the Earth Crystal, but ... This one's actually really close. I like it. Okay. So I think that's it for them, but let's go into this crystal room. Hello, Midnight Wonko. I briefly mentioned how we might do the Earth Crystal or like the Dark Elf thing. And I thanked you and Wylam. But we'll do that when we get there. So here's the crystal room. There's a crystal room here, and then I guess for some reason there's one in the Dark Elf's cave, but how did I get there? Is there more history to everything that we don't know? Alright. Now we're going to talk to, we're now in this room that is kind of like where Prince Edward is being kept in bed because he washed ashore and he's hurt and stuff. So he looks like he has a doctor and a nurse while he's in bed, and there's a guard at the front of the room. We're going to talk to that guard now. Also remember that all the guards are female. Byonin ga fusette imasu. Oshizuka ni. A sick person is resting here. Please be quiet. Something like that. They changed the verb for easy type from fusette imasu to nette imasu. So a sick person is sleeping. Please be quiet. Okay, Super NES. Please keep quiet. We have a patient here. Patient is fine, but I would have liked a sick person. Or someone is ill. Something like that. J2E. We have an injured patient here. Please be quiet. So what exactly is his condition, I wonder? Here it says byonin, which suggests a sick person. That bio is like sickness, and nin is person. You can just say patient to get around it, but like what is actually his problem? The J2E says injured. You can say keiga nin. Like there's a word for injured patient that they could have used in Japanese. I'm just curious, there's no big deal. Alright, naming way. A patient is resting, please keep quiet. I do like this. This little like unintentional humor maybe. Please be quiet! Exclamation in the Japanese. Like, you're supposed to be quiet, why are you yelling at me? You see that J2E keeps that delivery? And delivery is important. As we've talked about many times in the past, delivery of all of these lines is important. I won't mark off anyone though, but I just noticed it. Yeah, it suggests that he's sick, but it's hard to say. It could just be like simple wording. Alright, if I go here, we're gonna start a story scene, so here we go. Story scene. Alright. So Cecil, Yang, and Sid are now standing around Edward's bed, and Tella stands back a little bit. Edward is looking down and sad or hurt or sleepy or something. Cecil shouts, Girubato, and that means Gilbert. So we got Edward, Gilbert, Edward. Okay, good. Tella now walks forward. Tella is like standing at the head of Edward's bed, for reference. And looks like we're gonna have some easy type changes. We're gonna have quite a bunch of text to go through here. So get your sandwiches ready. Alright, so Gilbert now says, Seshiruka, ... Buji dattandane. That means, oh, Cecil, you're alright, after all. Bokumo, ... Tatakao yo, ... That means I will also, ... fight, ... So he's saying he wants to join our party. That would be kind of cool if he joined our party, because now we're kind of like just a bunch of dudes like Final Fantasy 15 on our journey. All right. Well, let's see what easy type changes. Something later. All right. Super NES. Cecil, ... So you are alive, period. Let me join you, period. So he's not in no condition to be fighting, as we can just surmise. And it kind of is well conveyed with his delivery in Japanese with all these ... It's not as obvious in Super NES, but what can you do? Alright. J2E. It's you, Cecil, ... You survived, ... Thank God, capital G, ... I'll ... fight too, ... This thank God part, he's not really necessarily thanking, but he's grateful. Like Buji dattandane, that has like a sense of relief feeling in it, kind of embedded in there. So if he just said you survived, like this thank God is fine. I just gotta be careful with that capital G, but whatever. All right, J2E. I'll fight too. Okay, all fine there. Naming way. Cecil, so you survived. Then I'll fight too, ... Ugh. There is no ugh in there. But they're trying to convey that he's in no condition, just as I was pointing out with the punctuation. So it's doing it slightly differently, but that's fine. It's in there. Alright. Next line. Tella then says, Sonna karada de nani ga dekiru. So remember, Tella is now like, sees Edward as a good thing, like from what we saw before. Like he's come around to liking Edward after everything Anna said and seeing the sacrifices that Edward made. So, Sonna karada de nani ga dekiru. What can you possibly do in your condition? Literally, like in a body like that, what can you do? Is how that comes across. Otonashiku nette ore, so just behave and stay in bed, or like be a good boy and stay in bed or something like that. Just be quiet and stay in bed. Otonashiku, obedient, docile, quiet. That's hard to. It's not good. Okay. Tella says, "What can you do in such a wretched condition? Lie in bed quietly." Okay. Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's pretty good translation there in Super NES. Even the tone is quite good. And the delivery is good with those exclamations. J2E. What can you possibly do in your condition? Stay in bed and sleep. Okay, that's good too. Naming way. Fight? In your condition? No, you need to rest and recover. Okay, I kind of like it. It's rephrasing things, but it's still saying the same thing, basically. That's basically what localization is all about. All right. Next part. Gilbert/Edward now says, Tella-san, ... Mr. Tella, ikite te kuratan desu ne? And he's being polite to Tella. You've stayed alive for me. You've been kind enough to stay alive, to survive. That's how that goes. Sumimasen, I'm sorry, ... Boku ga anna o kuroshita mo douzen desu. He's saying, I'm sorry. I basically killed Anna myself. I might as well have killed her myself. So he's blaming himself here and apologizing to Tella. Alright, so this is a line where the easy type changes. The dozen des in there, this dozen is like same, basically the same as. It became the more common term onaji des, which means identical or same. So it's just for easier reading for maybe younger children. So that's the change in easy type. Name Super NES. Master Tella, period. Forgive me, period. You lost Anna because of me. Dot, period. Would have liked the delivery to have been better on all of that. And he says literally, I might as well have killed Anna myself or something like that. Killed, koroshita is in there. That word kill is in there. Got around it with lost. Yep. But he's saying, he's putting heavy blame on himself. But he's kind of doing it in a different direction, if that makes sense. In Super NES, I'm gonna take off a point just for that. For the killing and then like kind of the rewrite. J2E. Master Tella, ... I'm sorry, ... for my weakness. Well, actually, Super NES doesn't mention that. Like, oh, you were alive. You stayed alive for me. So point off in Super NES. J2E also misses this. Took off a point. Okay, Master Tella, ... I'm sorry, ... for my weakness, ... If I wasn't so ... Anna ... would be alive, ... So I'm just doing the Morse code today. I'm sorry, everyone. Sounds like with Edward, we're going to be doing the dots a lot. He's blaming himself. He's basically saying, I might as well have killed her myself. Not saying that he's weak, necessarily. Alright, nothing more to talk about on that one. So all these J2E ellipses are fine. If you've missed it, please see my some of my past streams, like stream 2 is pretty good for my ellipses discussion. But I think last stream also I might have done it. Yeah, so he's weak and he's recovering. So these ... dots that we see in all of the Japanese, these are like not there on accident. They're there to indicate something, which is his condition. And so Super NES takes all that out. J2E tries to keep it in, but it is pretty intense and heavy. Right. Where are we? Okay. Naming way. Tella. Okay, so the san I would have liked in there, like the politeness. But it also does say you're alive, but the san isn't in there. You're alive. It's my fault that Anna died. Okay, so he's blaming himself. Would have liked the part about I killed, because that's a strong thing to say, I killed her, basically. Alright. I'm getting a little lost here. Let me No, I like the fact that he's so strong. He uses the word korosu, and that's not just a random choice. Tella just goes ... in response, and that is conveyed everywhere. Then Gilbert continues, honto ni ... And that means I'm truly ... like he's making a grunt sound. Super NES, this just becomes really period. So that's wrong. Like he's now like struggling health-wise or something. And he's caught up before he can finish his sentence maybe. J2E misses this line also. I don't know why that would be the case. Why would J2E miss that line? Naming Way gets it. I'm truly ... cough. Okay. Naming Way, you did good.
Yay!
Whew. Getting a little picky back and forth. It's getting harder to keep track of everything. Okay, we have another easy type change here. Yang now speaks. Girubato dono, ima wa yojo seneba ... That means like, Sir Gilbert, for now you must recuperate. in that phrase, recuperate, is a little fancy, so they changed it to like you need to get some rest in the easy type. So yukuri yasuma neba. Okay. Super NES. Prince Edward. Okay, so Dono became Prince. That's pretty good. That took some like extra thought on someone's part to put that together. That's really cool. I think I like at this. I'm gonna give Super NES a point. Like an AI translation would probably never be able to put this together, that he's a prince, so Dono could be Prince there. Alright. Think only of your health now. Okay, that's good. J2E. Sir Gilbert, you must care for yourself at the moment. Okay, that's fine. I would just say recuperate. Specifically, Yojo. Recuperation. Healthcare. That's fine. Could be better words there. Naming way. Edward, you mustn't strain yourself to speak. No, this isn't. Yang is saying like, no, you shouldn't be, you can't come fight with us. You need to rest, basically. Take off point there. Okay. Edward looks at Yang. Gilbert, still full of ... is saying Yan. So that means Yang ... Kimi mo buji datta no ka? You're okay too. And he uses Kimi, so he's kind of like speaking familiarly, or at least straight as an equal, or downward, but probably just as an equal. Kimi buji datta no ka? Ja, Rydia mo ... question mark. Yang, you're okay too. Then is Rydia also ... question mark. Let's see how this goes. Super NES, Yang ... So you survived that Leviathan attack. I'm gonna be picky because the Leviathan is not mentioned anywhere in the Super Famicom's text, even though they're putting stuff together. Just saying like, oh, you too survived. This Leviathan attack could be gone. Then Rydia also. I would have liked that Mo. Again, the Mo always gets written out for some reason. Okay, J2E. Yang ... You're also safe. Then Rydia is too? Okay, that's pretty okay. Naming way. Yang, so you're alive too. Where's Rydia? No, the connection, he's making a logical leap. And he already has the expectation. Does that make sense? I'm having fast brain problems at the moment. Alright. To this, Yang says, Menboku nai, and that's kind of like, we saw this the other day as like, I'm ashamed, or I have no honor, or something like that. It's kind of like a warrior's way of saying sorry, possibly. Like, I could have done better. Yeah, this could have just been like, then Rydia's also, then Rydia. Alright, let's see. Menboku nai. He's just saying like, I'm ashamed, I'm sorry. What's a kanji for that? Hard to, yeah. Right. Okay, so J2E says, wait, Yang says in Super NES, sorry, period. That's okay. J2E, I couldn't save her. That's not correct. And naming way just says ... That's also incorrect. Yang now looks down and sadly. Gilbert still continues to speak. Soka ... Kawaisou ni ... I see. The poor girl. Minna ga tatakatteiru toki ni boku wa nasakinai yo ... So while everyone else is fighting, I'm just pathetic ... is how that goes. So again, he's blaming himself. He's very like inward blame person. Maybe you understand that feeling. You want to convey that pretty well if you can. So he's saying I'm pathetic while you guys are out there all fighting. I'm implied stuck here doing nothing. I'm pathetic. Alright, Super NES. Poor Rydia. So that first line is missing, but that's okay. Ahsoka, I see. Poor Rydia. And I can't do anything while you fight. It's a shame. He's saying he's pathetic. I mean... yeah, I'm gonna take that off. Alright. J2E. Oh, that's horrible. Horrible is weird. I would have liked, like, poor girl, like kawaiso, like poor, pitiable, when you have pity for someone. But I won't mark off. To make matters worse, while everyone is fighting, I'm stuck here in bed. No, I would like him to talk about how he is a pathetic, nasakenai, miserable, pitiable, shameful, deplorable. Like, he's really hitting himself hard. I would like that. He almost is ready to say that in J2E, but he doesn't go that far. That's too bad. Naming way. I see. The poor girl. Forgive me, you're all fighting, but I lie in bed. Would have liked the... since I've already marked it off for those two, I'm going to mark it off here. But Naming Way also did the best. Naming Way is the best out of here. So for Naming Way, you get...
Yay!
I would like to talk about how he is pathetic. It's great out of context. Alright. I'm in this section right now, I'm being really picky in weird ways. And I want to step out of that at some point. But also, I guess people might want that. I don't really know. I mean, it's like an important scene where like a bunch of characters are finally reunited and talking about what have happened to other characters. I guess it's an important scene. Maybe that's why I'm naturally doing this. All right, Sid does like a twirl, and you know him, he's always cheerful. So he says, "Daijoubu ja, kono shido to enterprise ga suitoru." It's kind of like, it's okay with me and the Enterprise. You got me and the Enterprise with you. You got me, Sid, and the Enterprise along you. What's going on in Easy Type? Easy Type just puts a space in here. If you agree with that, please enter a space in chat. Alright. That becomes, don't worry, me and my Enterprise will take your share. It's just more like they're also, me and the Enterprise are also along with them. I'll say it's fine. J2E, it's okay, ... They've got me and the Enterprise. Would have liked this ... to have been exclamation. That's fine. Naming way. Don't worry, the Enterprise and I will do your share. It's not about doing Edward's share though. It's just like, we got this. I'm here and Enterprise is here. But, whatever. Kikeba, okay, next line. Kikeba seshiru ya Rosa ga sewa ni natta soja. From what I hear, you helped Cecil and Rosa before. Washi ni makashitokun jana. Just leave everything to me. That's how that kind of goes. Super NES. I've heard you had taken good care of Cecil and Rosa. Now it's my turn. Kind of like that it's not exactly now it's my turn, but it's pretty good. Alright. Uh-oh. Alright, so J2E says, so you're Gilbert, ... I've heard about you. Don't worry about coming along. I've got him covered. Just get some rest. Oh boy. Alright. Let's go through this slowly. So you're Gilbert. That's not in there. So J2, you mark that off. I've heard about you. That's true, but it doesn't say that. Like, you helped Cecil and Rosa. That detail is like super important. Take off that. Don't worry about coming along. I've got him covered. You've got who covered? You got the party covered, I guess? I don't know. And then just get some rest isn't in there either. So J2E just had a bunch of problems, so what do we got? Alright. Naming way. Don't worry, the Enterprise and I will do your share. I've heard you took... Oops. Good care of Cecil and Rosa. Now it's my turn. It looks like it's just Super NES. Super NES up here. And there. Alright. We'll say that's fine. Looks like it's not even that different. So in the Super NES, he says, this is Sid talking. Don't worry, me and my Enterprise will take your share. In naming way, that become, don't worry, the Enterprise and I will do your share. So I would have said that the Super NES is closer to like the casual, energetic, non-grammar loving Sid. So me and my Enterprise, that sounds a lot closer than the Enterprise and I. It's picky. I'm not going to take out any points, but I wanted to point that out, that there's a little more character in Super NES there. Alright. Gilbert now says, Anata ga Shido, your Sid, ja, umaku hiku te o. Then, you managed, so you're Sid, then you managed to get an airship, ... exclamation. I don't know what the exclamations are about. Is that where he's about to like cough, have a coughing fit or something, I wonder? I guess we'll find out. So he knows about Sid because they talked about Sid before. So he's putting it together. You are that master engineer Sid, says Super NES. Then you have an airship, exclamation. Then I would have said more like you managed to get an airship. But it's too minor, I won't mark off. J2E. Kind of clunky. You are Sid. Then you have an airship! Exclamation. They took out... Yeah, they said... Used to say got. I would have said got too, because that requires acquiring. And what has been acquired. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Kind of went backwards on that, I guess, then. Naming way. You're Sid. Then... You escaped with an airship? Alright. There could be improvements, but they're also minor, and the regular average person wouldn't ever care. I would care, but I have to continue. Gilbert says, Seshiru, Rosa wa Cecil, where's Rosa? Or what's happened with Rosa? Alright. Super NES. Cecil, where's Rosa? J2E, Cecil, where's Rosa? Naming way, Cecil, where's Rosa? Okay, all fine. Okay, Cecil responds by saying, Kono Toroia no tsuchi no kristalu to hikai toyu koto ni natte shimatta, ... It wound up that we have to trade her for the Troia's Earth Crystal. So, when I phrased it that way, it's on purpose. Like, it wound up that way. Like, things just ended up this way. And it was like kind of a negative connotation. Alright. Super NES. She was caught in exchange for the Crystal of Earth at Toroia. Kind of first draft clunkiness going on in there. I mean, in a translation course, this would probably get marked off a bit, teeny bit. I'll say it's fine. Uh-oh, J2E is doing stuff. You can kind of tell when J2E is doing stuff when this one box here ends up this big. Alright. Okay. J2E. Cecil, where's Rosa? Don't tell me Gobeza still has her captive. And then Cecil says he has Kane as well, ... Alright. So... Don't tell me Gobeza still has her captive was added, so I took off a point. Cecil says he has Kane as well, that was also added. But this was all from the original patch too. So someone was adding things at the original patch. Alright. Now we get to what I think is the actual part. They're forcing me to exchange her for the Crystal of Earth. It's not mentioned in Japanese. It's mentioned that the Crystal of Earth belongs to Toroia, but that doesn't exist in the J2E text here. Alright, I'm gonna take off a point, J2E. Alright, they're forcing me to exchange her for the Crystal of Earth. Anyway, Golbez said he'd exchange her for the Earth Crystal. Why are we talking about Golbez? Golbez is nowhere in here. Take off a point on naming way. Golbez said he'd exchange her for the Earth Crystal. Would like the mention of it belongs to Toroia. Alright, okay. The final line that Cecil says here, Daga Kristaru wa daku erufu ni ... There's a missing verb here. It's kind of implied. You can just kind of say whatever you want. However, the crystal was verbed by the Dark Elf. So you can say taken, stolen, is now held by the Dark Elf. You could put a number of different verbs in there. So Super NES goes with, but the crystal is now in the hands of the Dark Elf. Okay. Here it's the Dark Elf. Super NES is kind of inconsistent with itself. J2E. But the crystal was stolen by the Dark Elf. How did the Dark Elf steal it? I'm curious to know. Did it just like sneak in and sneak out? Would someone make a hack where we see these side quests? Okay, naming way. Golbez said he'd exchange her for the Earth Crystal, but the Dark Elf has stolen it. This really assumes that Edward is aware that Toroia has the crystal. Or should have the crystal. I'm gonna say that line is fine though. Okay, thanks Osteoclave saying Edward's exclamation points earlier. Having Sid in an airship means the party's plan at Fabul eventually succeeded despite Leviathan. Alright. So Gilbert pauses for a second, and then he says, slowly, Daku Erufu, ... Dark Elf, or Japanese doesn't have like the word the, so you could put the word the in there too. Only naming way has the word the. By the way, Easy Type has been liking to avoid using super English words, but this is the word dark in elf in English. Daku and Erufu. Would have been neat if they had changed that somehow. In Easy Type. Dark Elf. Then Gilbert says, Seshiru, kore o motte ite kure. ... Cecil, take this with you for me. That kure is like for me. Like do this for me. Take it with you. Alright. And then Cecil says, kore wa? And it's kind of like, what's this? Alright. Super NES. Cecil, take this, ... Cecil says, what's this? Okay, good. J2E. Cecil, take this, ... Cecil says, what's this? Okay, good. Naming way just says, here, ... Cecil says, what is it? It's kind of weird. This feels like what the first draft clunky for Super NES would have sounded like, maybe. He's telling you to hold on to this, like take this with you. What have like that verb, motte, motsu, to hold, to carry. All right. Next line. Gilbert then says, Boku no kawari sa, ... motte ite kure, ... So it is my substitute, ... Since he's saying that since he can't come fight with us, let this be my substitute. Let this be. And then he says, take it with me, or take it with you, I mean. So this is my substitute, ... take it with you for my sake. Kind of how that feels. Super NES, say my substitute. It may help. It may help is not in there technically. I'm gonna say it's fine. J2E is kind of clunky again. In my place, ... Please take it, ... So these are two full sentences. J2 or naming way says, call it my substitute. But he's not telling you to take it. Okay. So we got the hiso teniereta. So you got the hiso. I pointed out what this is in yesterday's stream, but this is a plant, an actual plant. It's not a harp. And it's a pun on like the word for whisper, and also plants, like a whisper plant. That's kind of how that literally goes. In the Super NES, we saw that this became TwinHarp. I am going to take off a point for Super NES for changing that, but I won't do it anymore. This will be the last time I do it for TwinHarp. J2E says, you got the echoer. And naming way says, received Whisperweed, and Whisperweed is the closest. And as we saw on the last stream, there's actually official Japanese art associated with this item. And by changing it to a TwinHarp, that connection with that official art is now broken. So you gotta be careful when you change names like that. All right. I've been looking at just some like pixel remaster stuff. Someone on the comments on YouTube mentioned that the legend, the Miscidian legend in Pixel Remaster is basically kind of pulling from the original Super NES translation, which as we already saw is kind of flawed and strange. So I don't know what kind of monster the Pixel Remaster has become, but I'll be honest, the Pixel Remaster looks so bad to me. That font, that English font is so terrible. Like, I don't know, why are they so bad? Why are they so bad with their re-releases like that? All right, so the whole party has regathered inside of Cecil's body. They have gotten into his pockets. Gilbert says, Seshiru ... Rosa o kanarazu. So it means there's a missing verb, but it kind of means Cecil, save Rosa without fail. It's kind of how that feels. Rosa without fail is literally how that goes. Cecil, Rosa without fail. Super NES becomes Cecil ... Save Rosa. J2E. Cecil, you must save Rosa. Used to say you've got to save Rosa. And the naming way, Cecil, save Rosa. They're all fine. Alright, so we finished that scene. For some reason, like 10 years ago when I was writing about the scene on my site, I remember being really picky on this section, and I don't know why. There must be just something, a lot of little things. The feeling I get is just like when you have like grit in your hands and you're trying to wash it off. That's how it feels. I don't know what that means. Alright. Same thing there. Okay. We can look now at his harp. His harp is checkable. His harp is in his room with him. I guess he held onto it when he was drowning. The narration says, Girubato no tategoto da. Gilbert's harp. Tategoto is like the that type of harp. It's like a vertical harp or something, I don't know. Edward's harp in Super NES. This is Gilbert's harp in J2E. And Edward's harp in Name. Man, like I already kind of wanted to just go look at Pixel Remaster and add it to this, but this game is so long I can't just start it over again. I have to take my time. I have like 4 to 3 years before the next re-release, so maybe I'll have time. Alright, so we're talking to the blue-haired woman who is watching over Edward here. I think she's the nurse. She says, Ima muri o sasete wa narimasen. Right now, we must not let him push himself, or we must not let him overexert himself. Like very polite and formalish. We cannot allow him, or we must not let him exert himself right now. Motomoto jobu de nai ue ni daibu suijaku sarete imasu. He wasn't even that like strong to begin with, and now he's been quite weakened. Suijaku, how do we do that? Weakness, debility, breakdown. Yeah. So he's saying he wasn't even that strong of a guy to begin with, because he's a bard and a prince. So that line got changed. Daibu suijaku sarete imasu is a little fancy in Japanese. So for the easy type, it became achikochi keiga o otte imasu. He has wounds all over him. So he wasn't a very tough guy to begin with, and he's hurt all over. That's how that feels. Alright. Superinius. He may not walk or get up until he's all well. Well, that's not in there. Don't worry. We'll take care of him. So I took off 2 points for those also. So everything on this line is wrong in the Superinius. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the end, but as the translations, these are not reflective of the original. Alright, J2E. He shouldn't overdo himself now. But you're missing that whole second section. The whole second sentence is gone. The old patch had more. In addition to his wounds, he's also exhausted. Exhausted isn't as strong as it should have been anyway, but yeah, it was in there. J2E, why did you do that? Also, J2E recently fell under 400, so to celebrate, well, first for that mistake, and then for 400, what's a better one? Alright. Naming way. He can't get out of bed till he's well. That till is not right. Like I said, she's being quite proper, good grammar. Like this is like grammar that you could pick apart in a Japanese 201 class maybe. No weirdness in that line. This till is a contraction. Okay, naming way. Don't worry, he's in good hands. No, that's not correct. So everyone's messing up. It's a sad state of affairs. Alright. Yeah, while I'm here, let me show you guys what the Whisperweed is, if I still have it. I might not have it anywhere. Let me bring it up. In case you missed it from last time. Desktop. What do we got? Is it in here? It might not be. Oh, I don't see it. Well, here it is. Here we go. Here's what the Whisperweed looks like. It's not a harp at all. If you mistake this for a harp, then you probably need to rest just alongside Edward. But here we have, this is what the Whisperweed looks like. It's official art, official Japanese guides. It gets reused quite a bit too, or it did in the day. I don't know about today. There's many guides, and I kind of want to look at them in future streams, like for the intro parts. We'll look at them sometimes. All right, let me go to the big zone. There we go. That's a cool harp? No, it's not a harp. All right, now we're going to talk to, I assume this blonde guy is the actual doctor. Okay, being quite polite. Giru Bato-sama wa zettai ansei nomi. So, like Sir Gilbert, there's a sama in there, so being quite polite with there. Sir Gilbert needs absolute rest. Ansei is like bed rest, or just rest, I guess. Like, especially when you're recuperating, ansei. So zettai ansei is like complete bed rest. Complete rest and quiet. Watashi? Kangofu desu. Sensei wa sochi. Ah, so the blue-haired lady was the doctor all along. Remember, this is a country ruled by women. So he's saying, me? I'm the nurse. The doctor is over there. Super NES. Edward? Oh, there's no Sama in there. Like Prince would have been good. Something. I'm gonna take that off. Super NES. Be polite. Shouldn't move yet. Bed rest would have been better. Needs bed rest. Me? I'm a nurse. The doctor is this lady. Okay. J2E. Lord Gilbert is only resting. That's weird phrasing. And I would have like Lord Gilbert. I guess Lord works, but Prince would work better. And it used to say, okay, Lord Gilbert is only resting. Me? I'm a nurse. The doctor is this lady. It used to say the doctor is over there. So if you've learned Japanese 101, like maybe the first week or two, you probably know the difference between like kochi, sochi, achi, or maybe like koko, soko, asoko. There's a little bit of a thing happening here. He's saying sochi, which means like just like kind of over in this area. But just saying the doctor is over there in English, over there could mean anywhere. It could mean this guy over here in this area over here. Could mean her too. Could be the heart maybe, I don't know. It's just a weird, interesting thing. Alright, naming way. Prince Edward. Okay, so I think naming way has done it the best here. Prince Edward shouldn't move around. Huh? No, I'm the nurse. The doctor's over there. Over there is fine, but it's much clearer what the over there is referring to in Japanese. That's basically what I'm saying. Sochi is like near the speaker, or I mean near the listener. Yeah, you could just say like next to me. We're getting too much Japanese grammar lessons in here. Edward's kind of made me go crazy here. I don't think there's anything new going. Oh yeah, let's look at this item. We have now the Hiso Hiso. And we can see now that we have the item, it's called the Hiso Hiso. And Hiso Hiso by itself is like a whisper sound effect in Japanese. And I mentioned it before, but this so, it won't show up here because of my too many words mean are associated with so, but that means plant. So like whisper plant. That's what that all turns into. TwinHarp in Super NES, Echoer in J2E, and it says a mysterious plant in Whisperweed in Naming Way. It was always the Echoer, it looks like, in J2E. Yeah, it's a pun between whisper and plant. I don't know if it's a pun, it's more like a portmanteau. Just a word combo, compound word. Alright, so now we can actually start to do the game. But what I want to do is while I'm here, I want to go get the proper equipment. It was pointed out to me, I think it was Midnight Wonko, was that you? It was giving me the tips on what to equip. And I used to always, just when I would play this on my own back in the 90s, I would come over here to get the non-metallic armors that I need. So let me get those while I'm here. 1, 2, 3. I'm pretty sure, well, just to be safe, I'll do that. And just to be safe, 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, it's not gonna, I didn't have it pull up text on this, but it's saying you have too much stuff in your inventory. Darn it. That's what I get for buying things like a dum-dum. Oh yeah, so there's a trick. I should probably just do it now. Where I can... Did I buy the bow? Yeah, I got the bow. I always forget which one to put it on. But now... There's a bug in Final Fantasy IV and 2 US and stuff where you can get permanent back row full damage ability by putting on like certain two-handed weapons. And bows are one. So what I can do now is this. Well, I don't want Tella in front, but let's bring him down here. There we go. Bow goes in left. I always mix this up. There we go. A little stronger. And okay. I don't want to do much more, but I'm going to do that for now. Oops. Alright, I'll put that back on in a second. But as we walk to the Chocobo Forest, we're going to have some fights, so... Where are you? To them. Yeah, right now I'm still like in a little bit of a flustered state in my head. Earlier today, one of my cats had a hairball and was barfing it up and decided to barf right on like my power brick thing or power I don't know, like with the thing you plug a bunch of stuff into it, and it started like sizzling and making sounds, and I got so super scared, so I had to fix everything real quick. So I'm a little flustered. Alright, we're just gonna walk north. See, I also want to look at enemies. I think we've encountered most of these enemies before, but if not, alright, what do we got here? Alright, we are fighting. We've already fought the Hell Needles. These are called Hell Needles in Japanese. In the easy type, they're called the Tsuno Nezumi, which is like horned rats. Alright, but we've already looked at those. But we're fighting some new enemies. So let's look at these. Okay. We have some weird tree-looking monsters. They're kind of spooky. They're called Udo Aizu in Japanese. That means wood eyes. Udo is how you say wood. The English word wood. And Aizu is eyes. Easy type, this becomes Jumoku no Se. So it's like tree spirits. Like kind of big trees. Trees and shrubs, arbor. And Se is like a spirit. It doesn't show up in here. Alright. In Superness, this became Treant, which is like that folklore thing. J2E stays with the original and goes with Wood Eyes. And Naming Way goes with Treant. I know that these guys are heavily associated, besides obviously like Lord of the Rings things, I think. With also more modernly, I see a lot of people making like marijuana jokes about these guys. Just that name, not these specific guys. Alright, so I'm going to see if Cecil's back row bug actually activates. I assume that's good. Alright, I'm looking at some strats that people have for this place. Since we're going up to the, where do we go? We're going to the Chocobo Forest. There's white Chocobos there. We can heal up our MP there, so I'm not gonna like hold back my MP. Okay, so the treants are weak to fire. Okay. Oh, he has to have the bow equipped first? Okay. I'll do that. Doing some fire threes, killing everyone. You got some gold needles. Alright, let me put that back on then. Dang it. Alright, we're still walking up. This place is very foresty. Oh, what do we got? Okay, so we have those treant guys again, those wood eyes, and then we also have like a crazy looking giant flower monster with a bunch of things for eyes or something, and a scary mouth and just red leaves, red petals. In Japanese, this is called the Desu Beauty. So the death beauty. Death beauty. That desu is the English word death, and beauty is the English word beauty. And because Easy Type doesn't like to have those English names, it becomes the Shokujin Bana. And that is the like cannibal flower, or like people eating flower. Shokujin. I mean, it could mean maximum eclipse flower, but I don't think that's the case. Shokujin. Eat people flower is how it looks to me. So Super NES, interestingly, goes with cannibal here, which fits with what I just said for the Easy Type. So now we have an example of that weird Easy Type affecting the Super NES translation. It happens sometimes, and we can't quite tell when and where it'll happen. So it's a mystery to all. Meanwhile, J2E sticks with Death Beauty without the A at the start there. In Naming Way, tries to do a neat little trick with language to say Mort Bud, and Mort being like the root for the word death in a bunch of languages, and Bud being like a plant. So that's how this is all going. They're all different in their own crazy ways. Now, I'm going to have Cecil do his thing, and then I want to see if my sword will be good from then on. Turn on the light. I'm probably gonna activate another bug on accident by doing this part. What the thing I'm doing here. Oh, where are you? Don't know. It didn't seem like it was that strong. But maybe that's just how it is. Alright, we took them out. We're continuing north. You have to go not too badly north. It's not like Seven Saga where you have to go forever and ever. Alright, now we are in the Chocobo no Mura, and that means Chocobo Village. This is called Chocobo's Village, and Super NES Chocobo Village, and J2E Naming Way. And if you didn't know, just in case you didn't know, this place is special, because this is what it looks like. The whole place looks like a chocobo. Did you know? If you didn't know, now you do. The more you know. Alright. I like this place because there's like a lot going on here. There's the work of ancient aliens, yes. The moon people. Okay, mithril knife, mithril cane. Let's take those out, I guess. Oh, good, I can take that out. Okay, that's probably good. Alright, now to go... Well, I don't need to talk to the white chocobo. I do like how this place is so big, and then you can find like secrets, as I recall. You can go in here, get your chest completion rate going. when I did that Final Fantasy 2C hack, the one where it retells Final Fantasy 2 using Final Fantasy 4's engine, when I did the translation for that, I added a chest completion stat, and it would show up down here somewhere. It would show up down here somewhere. I think about it pretty often. I wonder how well it would work with modern. I bet randomizer people have already done that. I'm really impressed by the randomizer people. The people who developed it, and the people who play it. Okay, let's get that black chocobo. So this is the new breed that was found. Alright. Kuro chocobo mike. So I talked about this line in day 2, if you want to check out day 2. And so the deal with black chocobos is that they can fly, but they can't land anywhere but on forests. And then, when you get on them, it just automatically takes you back to where you came from. So there's sort of like a limitation to it all. Where can I land here? Here we go. And I can come here and do stuff and get my butt kicked out here. In this place I shouldn't be at, probably. Let's see what's out here. Oh boy. Well, let's look at these enemies while we're here before I start to super die. Okay, so we have, these were the cockatrice enemies. These are palette swaps now. They look a lot scarier. It's called a Rudoron baby. Like a Rudran baby. Rudra, whatever. That's a word that they like to use back in Square days. Alright. Then they just became the Iguru in the easy type, but still in English. Iguru is still just the English word eagle. You are so confusing. Easy type. Okay, Super NES, this becomes Rock Baby, ROC. Rock Baby. J2E is Rudran Baby, so that's the closest. And the naming way goes with Rookling. I will just assume that that makes sense to someone. Alright, then we have, then we have the big, like, raven, giant raven looking thing. It's also a palette swap of a previous enemy, and it's called a Rudora. And Rudra, probably like some folklore thing. And Super NES, that became Rock, ROC. J2E is Rudra. And naming way is Rook. So those are the babies of the big one, basically. So we're gonna try to fight. Uh-oh. Okay, not too bad. Little bad, but I can hold my own, possibly. Tella might have some troubles. So the babies only have 50 HP apparently, which is nice to know. Cecil did a cover. Yes, he did a cover from the back row, so it took less damage. It works. The tricks work. Did it again, yay. So that's a good reason to have Cecil in the back, because when he covers for someone, he will still automatically take half damage. This is turning out better than I was expecting. Alright, we made it out of there. Good job, everyone. Cecil has leveled up. He has yet to learn all of his stuff. He's still not even at 1,000 HP. By this point, I usually have over 1,000. Alright, so when we get back on the black chocobo, we will lose control of it, and it will automatically take us back to the place that it came from. Which is kind of neat to know that in the programming, there's some very basic pathfinding going on. Alright, we made it back in here. Let's get back on there. And to where we really need to go. Sometimes it's really hard to get to these black chocobos. Alright. Alright, so here's that northeast cave island. This is the magnetic cave. This is where it'll be. Okay. I'm doing a cottage. The game is going to get very hard for me in here. And part of the reason is that in this cave, everything is magnetic, meaning if you have any metal equipment on, you will be hindered. And if everyone is hindered, then you just automatically lose the game. But by hindered, I mean like you can't do anything. So I want to show that off first. Alright, so we're going to walk in here. Alright, so this place is now called in Japanese the Jiryoku no Dokutsu. So this is the magnetic cave, or like the magnet power cave, magnetism cave, something like that. Jiryoku, again, is magnetism or magnetic force. And Dokutsu's cave. In the Super NES, this just gives it an actual name, Cave Magnus. It's interesting. At least you can kind of tell that there's something magnetic probably happening. J2E, Cave of Power. That's wrong. And then naming way kind of reverses the Super NES and goes with Magnus Cave. But again, you can kind of tell just from the name Magnus that there's something magnetic happening. And then based on the hints that we got earlier, we can tell that something magnetic is going to happen. As I recall, the DS translation, because it doesn't like to always be like so just like on the nose with its phrasing, it goes with the phrase lodestone cavern, I think. And that's fine. Lodestones are like naturally magnetic rocks, and you can mine them and stuff. And that's fine, but if you don't know what a lodestone is to begin with, you won't kind of know just from the name alone that this place is magnetic. When you go with fancier names, sometimes you'll like take it out of the realm of normal understanding like that. That's kind of just the feeling of the DS translations. It kind of takes things with a higher fantasy. All right. I'm going to take one step down, and then stuff will happen. Screen turns green, and a weird sound resonates. And to this, Sid says, Nanchu Jiryoku ja. What magnetic power? Korea kinzokusei no buki bogu o sobi shitottara miyogoki torenzo. So he's very like contraction heavy guy, and very masculine guy, a little bit of an older guy vibe to it all. It kind of all falls out in translation. Anyway, that means what magnetic power? With things like this, weapons and armor that are made of metal, if you were to equip them, you wouldn't be able to make any movements. And then just to kind of like rephrase all that to sound better, and then that's what you got. Super NES. What is this magnetic field? I don't know if it's what. It's more like, wow, this is a real strong magnetic field. Metallic things will be too heavy to control. The very, very important word here is a word we learned back on like day 3 or 4. Sobi, which is equipment. It specifically says if we equip such things, we'll be stuck. We'll have troubles moving. I would have liked equip to be in here somewhere as a gameplay mechanic in Super NES. So I'm going to take off a point. J2E. Ugh, the gravity here is so strong. Okay, again, I pointed this out at the very start of the stream, is that J2E mixes up Jiryoku and Jūryoku. And Jūryoku is gravity, but Jiryoku is magnetism. It's like a 101, Japanese 101 mistake. But they keep making it. And it has been there since the very start. So whoever first translated this, no one else came to fix it. Okay. Then it says, we won't be able to move if we wear metallic armor. Oh, it says also bogu is armor. It's like protection equipment. But it also says buki, which is, as we also learned, is weapon. So J2E loses a point for not mentioning weapons. At least wear kind of is in there. Alright, naming way. A magnetic field? No, he's saying like what magnetism is here. But I'll say that's fine. With it, we won't be able to move if we equip metallic gear. Alright, so they were able to like just sum up Muki Bogu as gear. But equip is in there and that's really good, so I'll say that's okay. Would have liked this first line to be different. Alright, so there's that. Also, let me see. Yeah, here we go. The manual for FF2 US Super NES has a prototype line for this. What is this magnetic field? Metallic things will be too heavy to control. And we can see there's a typo in that too heavy. There's just one O in there. We can see that they edited that to fix that. So we can see there was like a second pass at some point, at least. Someday I want to find wherever this prototype ROM is when they were making all these screenshots. It's got to exist somewhere, just the same way that the Earthbound Zero ROM exists. Well, yeah, I got an offer for the Earthbound Zero prototype that I own a while back, a couple days ago, and the offer was for $8,000, but the thing is, it's not mine to give or sell, and I consulted the owner, and they also don't want to give it or sell it, so let that be known in this random spot in the Final Fantasy IV stream. But I do want to play it on stream someday. Maybe I'll play through the whole thing. Alright, let me go back. A little whack opinion. Alright, next part. Yang says, Watashi no tsume naraba heiki na you desu. As for my claws, they appear to be okay. Like other equipment I don't know about, but as for my claws, they appear to be okay. I have to set all this up. Alright, so the Super NES, that becomes my claws seem okay. Alright. J2E, my claws appear to be alright. Okay. Naming way, my claws seem okay. Okay. Tella, Anzuru na watashi no maho ga tsuite yoru. So fear not, we still have my magic, or my magic is here with us. Okay, Super NES, do not worry, I'll do it with my magic. And that's pretty clunky, weird phrasing, but it's okay. J2E, don't worry, we still have my magic. Okay, naming way, fear not, we have my magic. Okay. And then the game is given back to us. Now, as I recall, let's see. Okay, so we have Sid with mithril stuff on, and that counts as metal. Again, let me point this out. Mithril, everything in mithril in the Japanese version became silver in the Super NES version. And that's fine, I guess. But the thing is that silver is technically like almost zero magnetic, like almost no magnetic at all, not magnetic at all. So that change kind of undid it technically, but this is a video game. Let's not think about that. Okay, we have Cecil with a bunch of mithril stuff on. Yang has a silver bracelet on, silver or something on, and Tella has a silver thing on. So what should happen is when we go into battle, everyone should get paralyzed, and then if everyone is paralyzed, the game will end. So let's go. Yeah, in the FF4 mithril, it says mithril silver. Yep, here we go, everyone. So we gotta, somehow, we have a strike first ability chance. But the party died. Party wa zenmetsu shita. It says party, the English word party. Party was in Metsushita. So they just took out like the formatting for easy type. Perished. So that means Zenmetsu is like wiped out or annihilated. Alright, so that's what happens. If you have metal equipment on in here, you get messed up. There's all kinds of fun ways to get around this. I was going to look it up and how to do it on Japanese sites because I just really enjoy the Japanese walkthroughs. But I got busy. My cats barfed into my power sockets. Alright, we died. We'll do it the long way. We'll just go back out. Okay. So now we're going to equip everyone properly. We're going to give him his wooden hammer. We're going to give him that, I think, right? And give him Kempo. Okay, now we're going to give Cecil the proper stuff. Give him the bow and arrows. And I think I have a bunch of ruby rings. Yeah, I do. I have more than I'll need. Yang, I need to set up. Is fire and ice okay for him? Or should I have something else for his claws? He just needs the ruby ring. Oops, I just did it. Intella. His rods are okay, right? I think he just needs the ruby ring. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, this game makes it kind of hard to know what is good and not. Some are weak to fire and ice. Rods are fine. Stick that up there. Okay. Alright, so I'm probably okay. We'll see if I messed up. The game will make it clear if I have messed up. Let me do another save state. I don't think I need to do my cottage again. Okay, we're good. Here we go. Alright, so it's just that scene again. And now we can continue, and the dungeon will begin. Before we begin the dungeon, I need to take a quick break, go to the bathroom, and then see if the cats are okay. Be back in a second. And in the meantime, I have a new special thing for you guys to look at. It will be this one. Okay, see you in a second. Hopefully you can hear me. Oh, came home just now. That was crazy timing. Alright. Oh yeah. This cave. This is the original Japanese version that we're playing, but if you've played for the Super NES, FF2 for Super NES, or even if you just played the easy type, this cave will look a little different, and here's why. You can see that the colors are a little different. It's a lot brighter in FF2, Super NES, and easy type. For some reason. Let me know why. We need to ask, who do we ask for this one? We need to ask Reggie. Reggie will know. Alright, let's see if I messed up. Alright, everyone seems to be doing good. Oh no. Okay, so we fought these guys before during the Peninsula of Power back around Mount Ordeals. These are called Kate Siths, or Ketoshi, from folklore. I won't go back over them, but they were called like Dengeki Hyo, which could mean like Blitz Panther or something. And then we're fighting Oga, and that's the English word ogre. They changed that to Ao Oni, like that scary monster. There's like a game on Japanese, the Japanese indie game Ao Oni. Here it is. It's back. It's after you. That means like blue Oni, blue ogre. I guess he's blue. I never really thought of his colors that way. Oops. There we go. I'm scared to fight these guys. They're gonna one-shot me, right? Okay. Yeah, Kate Sith and Ogre to both weak to Holy. So Ogre is weak to the size spell. That's interesting. Alright, we killed one panther. If they get alone, don't they start going crazy? I need to not let them be alone. Okay, so I'm using the minimum spell on the ogre, and it got teeny. It indeed got teeny. And it's super good having all this extra info. I need to upgrade my sidebar to show this enemy stuff. Alright. Pretty good. I didn't think it would be that easy. Alright. Hopefully we'll start to like accelerate our levels. Just like getting people's stuff back. Alright, let's continue. There's a treasure chest over here. Inside of it is a high potion. That's the item I just used. This cave is like one of my favorite caves. Oh, we got surprised. Drat. Okay, so don't let the Panther guy be alone, or he will do his like one-hit KO or one-hit paralysis. Whenever I see these guys in any Final Fantasy game, I get a little traumatized. I've been killed many times by these guys. Man, you got hurt so bad. Just taking my time. Got that good back row cover from Cecil, saving Tella's life. There should be a save life counter. Alright, now we have to deal with these hell needles. See, the thing is that everything is a little harder now that we have to use like less good weapons. worse weapons, I guess is a better word than less good. No, I shouldn't waste my stuff. Actually. Man, they're just countering me like crazy. Oh good, I can turn them into pigs. That's good to know. I guess we're just gonna transform everything in here. Reminds me of that part in The Witcher 3. Maybe that's why the piggy sword is as good as it is for the easy type version. Man, these guys are strong. Sid should be in the front row? Oh yeah. Okay. Wow. I should take that one out good. Alright, we're gonna... Well, I guess that one's not turning into a pig. What a sad day. Man, this guy's tough. Yeah, I need to get Sid in that front row. Alright. Now to do some healing. Okay, so do the power attack because it doesn't know what to do. We have a new item. Kuaru no Hige and Nakin no Hari. So let's get those. We got this. This is the Kuaru no Hige. And that is like the whisker of a Kuar. And I forget what Kuars are, but those are like those panther enemies that we were kind of just fighting. They got dummied out in easy type and super NES, so that is nothing. J2E. Kuar Whisker. Kuar's Whiskers. Death comes to enemy. Used to just be called Whisker. And naming way, Whisker. Instantly kills an enemy. I wonder what like weird restrictions there are on that. There's probably some kind of weird restrictions on that. Death just comes to the enemy. This death spell. Right, let me get healing up on everyone. I need to put Sid in front. I need to actually play the game. Alright. I like that row. I like that setup. Yeah, go with this setup. There we go. The save state. I don't have confidence that I'm going to get through this place easily. I haven't been leveling. Alright, just these guys again. I use minimum on this ogre. I have like many memories of me saying I'm gonna fight every enemy I encounter in this place, and then just like halfway through I'm like, screw that, I'm running. So like halfway through I'm just running all the time. I wonder if that's how it is for everyone. Ooh, that was a good shot. Alright. So I'm using Ying's special ability to like attack harder, but since the ogre has turned into a little guy, it doesn't matter. Dang. Good job. We make a good team. Chat, you are like this extra member up here. You guys are here. You guys are the arrow. Unicorn horror. Let's have a good look drop stat. don't think I have a whole lot of ethers. I have 14. I guess that's okay-ish. I'll do bio as I need to. Everything about the bio spell is just so fun, except unless it gets cast on you. Alright. We're fighting two ogres. 2 ogres means I'm going to make 2 little people. Oh, it didn't work. Oh my gosh, these guys are hard. Alright, well, let me make this one. Maybe that'll work better if it's not split. Little old 74 damage killed this big guy. Darn it. I guess it can miss. Can it change into a pig? Nope. Well, maybe it can, it just didn't that time. Alright. Ogres. Ogres are over. Is he still leveled up? He ain't leveled up. Okay. I'm still waiting for Cecil to get all of his spells. How far are we? Got 2 more spells for him. Yeah, it was thundering earlier, but I guess it won't now. Okay. Continuing. Go around this way. Alright, now we're fighting some bats. Let's look at these bats. Alright. In Japanese, these bats are called feisubato. So it's like face, the English word face, and then the English word bat. You can see the face is here, and bat is bato. Alright. What is that in easy type? Dajibato. So large bat. Dajibato. It used to be called large bat. I don't know what face means. Is it like, is there a reason for it to say face? Could be faith? No. I don't know. I guess they have weird faces. Anyway, in the Super NES, there comes cave bat. J2 is face bat. And naming way is cave bat. Which one is it? Face bat is the weirdest. I don't know. It can't be face, right? Fierce? Face? No, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to ask Miyamoto again. Oh, good. They're gonna be weak against. So this technique that the bats are doing is called Kyuketsu, and that means to like suck blood. In the Super NES, that comes vampire. In J2, it becomes blood suck, and naming way is vampire. I mean, I guess maybe they attach to your face. Come on, Tella, you can hit it. Oh. Ooh, we all got Pokemon seizured there. Those bats aren't too bad, they just move real fast. Alright, let's continue. I have a chest here, a unicorn horn. And that's like the super like curative that heals your status ailments. Again, this place looks so weird to me because it's a different color. I'm used to the brighter color of the Super NES. Cave is darker in the Japanese version. Okay, we're fighting some more bats. I'm trying to turn a bat into a pig. Does not work. You get some bat bacon that way. So what are the randos like? Are they like full scale, like full quests? Or are there like smaller quests? Because it feels like it'd be a lot of work to do a full random run. Like a full just RPG run. Alright, we have an ether in this. Alright, so we have 3 ogres, but we have first attack on them. Maybe we can get minimum off on them all. I don't know if it splits the probability or not. Yay! They're all small. The ogres are now littles. I see, so you can technically fight Zeromus anytime via the King's Pub? Okay. That's kind of interesting. I've long wanted to do like for a 6 or 4, I want to do like a roguelike hack. Maybe it'll feel a bit like Slay the Spire, possibly. I mean, like, you can just hit him now. Tilla can bash some little people. No, he can't. Okay, so FF4 Rando is very minimized quests. Minimal cutscenes. Cool. Like, way long ago, 15 years ago, Cole and I worked on an Earthbound randomizer for the Earthbound community. I wonder what people have done. Like, it's since been taken and, like, new people have taken in the randomizers in new ways. But, like, how long do those runs last, I wonder? I've never done a full rando run of Earthbound. I have 2 of those hats that I'm already wearing. I guess they fell off when we turned them into little people. I really like these little skeleton sprites. They're not sprites, tiles. Little skeletons. It adds a bit of fun to it. There's even a second one. Okay, we got a chest in this little inner room. An ether. And 2,000 gil. Yeah, on Google Translates in the past that I've done of FF4, it got translated as face butt. It translated face bat as face butt. Oh yeah, we're fighting a new enemy here. We're fighting an Era Patora. Easy type that became the Hebi Akuma, so the snake devil, snake demon. It's like this snake with a woman's head on it, it looks like. Super NES, it calls it the Cave Naga. J2E calls it the Hieropatra, which I guess it could be, I don't really know. Ada, I don't know what Ada is. It does feel like, it feels like it's 2 words squished in together in Japanese. Hieropatra, like hieroglyph and Cleopatra or something maybe, I don't know. Naming way, Cave Naga. Gotta make this ogre little and attack this Ada Patora. Patra has the map or whatever. Okay. Wanna turn into well, we'll just beat you up. Ooh, ogres hit pretty hard. Good thing that I have bugs on my side. And we're on the 3rd floor, the Chikasankai. And here's a safe spot, hooray! For some reason I want to believe there might have been at one point something in this room. It might be the one further south. Alright, let's do a save. We're 44 hours in. 44:18. And we're walking across some like rickety wooden walkways. It looks like this was probably used for mining at some point. It's kind of neat little details they've included. Alright, we have a new enemy possibly. Oh, I think we've met these before. The TwinHarp. It means twin snake. Twin snakes. And it's like a two-headed snake or something. That became the Sotoja, the two-headed snake in easy type. Python and Super NES, twin snake and J2E, and the Etten snake and naming way. I don't really know what to do with them, so let's do. You know, I think these snakes are pretty easy to kill, as I recall. I'm just trying stuff on them. Alright, pretty good. Alright, Tella has leveled up. Alright, now we're in like another little inner chamber room with 3 chests. High potion in this one. A copper hourglass in this one. A bronze hourglass. Got some more face butts. Just gonna attack them normally. Have Tello guard. As they suck out my blood, I might get the rabies. Magnetic rabies. Is there a way to, it's probably not too difficult to make it so that you can use enemies' attacks like Pokemon? Like you can have a Pokemon and you can send it out? That'd be fun. Just have them do the blood suck on enemies. She's so leveled up, but no techniques are learned. Okay, chest number 3 is the Kumo no Ito, and that's the spider web. We saw that back in the Antlion Cave. We're getting pretty full items in here. Fighting some more snakes, a lot of snakes. Not too bad. Yeah, apparently the spiderweb item is really good. Ooh. It like does extra slow on enemies. We got an antidote. We're walking across and around. Nope, we got back attacked. We're fighting 3 face bats, and then also there's a Dracula lady or something up top. I'll see what her name is in a second. I gotta change my rows. I guess I didn't have to. Take out that bat. He's weak to holy and fire and is considered undead. Midnight Wonko is like the Pokédex of the stream. Oh, that's Draculady. She's weak to holy and fire and is considered undead. I can just hear the Pokemon Pokédex voice. Alright. What is she called? She's called in Japanese Draculady. So yeah, Draculady is her name. I think these exist in FFF6 also. So Draculady. Super NES goes with Vamp Girl. J2E goes with Draculady. And Naming Way goes with Succubus. I mean, the fun is in Draculady. So J2E wins this one. J2E, you did pretty good on this one. Thanks for keeping it.
Excellent.
Yeah, Auxbray, you're definitely like the channel's ultimate Pokédex, don't worry. You are synonymous with this channel. Come on, Tella, you can hit this bat. You see this old man trying to hit a bat, swooping around. Nope. But then Sid swings his big ass hammer and hits it just fine. Alright. Potion. No, I don't want it. I skipped the potion. Let me get some HP in my system. Alright. This room. I remember this room. Oh no, back attack with 2 panthers and 2 ogres. I guess they're like the pets of the ogres. Or the ogres are the pets of the panthers. Alright, gotta do row switch. Let me kill the panthers first. And then I'm gonna try to do minimum on the ogres. Alright, not bad. So it's just the ogres left as Tella is ready to do his spell to minimize them. Oh, it didn't work. Well, gotta do it the old-fashioned way. That's pretty good. Come on, Yang, take it out. Okay, good. There's 1 ogre left, and again, Tella's gonna do a spell. Come on, Tella. Ooh. Okay. Tella's doing his spell. Did not work. Tella is failing us. He said we had his magic. He lied. Tella is lying. Let's just leave him in the magnetic cave. Let's give him some metal equipment and just leave him here. Alright, here's your chance, Tella. You can prove yourself now. Tella, do it. You did it. Okay, he got scared when I was threatening to leave him here. There we go. And the Tower of Zot's gonna be pretty hard. As I recall, I should probably continue to use the wooden mallet against those robots, if there's robots, right? Okay, here we have the fairy claw, Yosei. Yosei, like a fairy. Or you could just say anything kind of fairy-like elves. Just fae. Yeah, fairy sprite or elf is a Yosei. So like the fairies in Zelda, they're generally called Yosei. So we have the Yosei claw. That became the Charm Claw in Super NES for some reason. J2E, it becomes Fairy Claw, and Naming Way becomes Fairy. So there's an easy type name for this. The Yosei no Tsume became the Jūryoku no Tsume. So this is a Charm Claw. So yeah, again, here we're seeing the easy type and the Super NES are parallels to each other. Jūryoku won't show up here because of the craziness of this, but Jūryoku will show up maybe? No. Jūryoku is when you charm someone and you try to allure them. It lowers accuracy, but it does quadruple damage to ogres. So Yang's been doing pretty good right now, so I'm going to leave this here. Although I'm running out of space. I'm starting to feel like Earthbound. Did I already heal everyone? Yep, everyone's good. Alright. We're sort of in like the second to last area of this cave now. We're fighting on the rickety walkway as we fight 2 twin snakes and 2 cave nagas. I mean, I could just do bio here. Let me do, where did I put that? Where did I put bio? Alright, what's it called? Bio, yeah. Montella. It's the best sound and the best spell. I would marry that spell if I could. So we're looking at what looks like it's, we're getting close to where we need to go. There's a lot of dead bodies, a lot of spooky torches, but luckily we have a save spot. Let's go to the save spot. Bo's gotta change her name to Virus. I'm living with the virus. Alright. Get out of here. We should be okay for now. Gotta get this treasure chest that's over here. I always like to do it this fun way. This little fun way. You don't have to go all the way around. You can just walk across it. Ninja Turtles, AVGN style. And we have Hijoguchi, which is an emergency exit. So this is if we need to get the heck out of here immediately. This is a convenience item that the developers put here on purpose. It's very nice to have. We could also just use the spells that we have, but it's just nice to have too. A little bit of stuttering because I had to go through such a big inventory. Alright, so a thing is going to happen in here, and I have to save state it here. Alright, we're now in the crystal room. And before I do the fight genuinely, I have the Game Genie code prepped. So if we came here before we met Edward, if we just came here, we wouldn't have the special item, right? We wouldn't have the TwinHarp or the Whisperweed. So if we do that, there's no way that we can win. And so the Dark Elf will kill us in like a couple turns. And he'll have a special phrase that goes, Oroka mono, like, which just means fools. But let me apply it, and we'll see if it works. Alright, I'm gonna skip this for now so we can just see what happens. Alright. Yeah, here he says fools. Oroka mono. That means fool in Japanese. So Super NES, that is you fools on all caps. You fools. J2E. Ha 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 ha. Fools. There's technically no laughter originally. J2E. You should just say ha ha ha. they had to add fools in. I guess someone for the second patch was like, oh, there's actually something being said here. We should add what's being said in there. Naming Way says, blast you. But no, that's not what's being said. So Naming Way gets marked off. Sorry, Naming Way. What do we got? All right. So we'll get dead now. Let's get dead. So he hits us for 9999. Can you beat him like this? Like, is there some way, like, if you can get his HP down? Alright, the party died. That's how it be. Let me load that save. Turn off that code. Alright, now we'll talk to him normally. Alright. So, before we begin, I want to point out that in Japanese, this dark elf, he speaks with kind of like stilted Japanese, but it's like complete grammar. His proper grammar is in there. He misses mostly some particles and things. It's like kind of like standard complex grammar. So just think of him as like talking strangely, but otherwise talking kind of normally. And we'll notice that the Super NES translation and maybe the others, they make him talk like he's the Hulk. You know, like, me, evil, me, fight you now, kind of. We're going to see those kinds of changes. Alright. So immediately, if you don't know Japanese, you'll notice that somehow this Japanese text over here just feels all different. Like, something about it feels wrong. Right? This is because he's speaking all in katakana, which is one of the 3 writing systems in Japanese. So he's only speaking in one writing system. And usually the speaking style where you use all katakana like this is for like one common use is robotic text, or like alien text, or like a crazy person text, or like someone being possessed text. Basically not normal. And so it's pretty common for us in English to take that and just put everything in all caps. And we can see that in Super NES. We can see it in J2E. In Naming Way copies, what the PS1, what all the official translations do is where they kind of mix capital and lowercase in unusual ways. So the speaking style is being localized with all caps in these 2 versions here. It's being localized with mixed cases in Naming Way here. First, let's look at this easy type change. Easy type just put some spaces in here, I guess for better reading. Alright. Alright. Let me start just reading it. Omae tachi yoku kokomade koreta. So, I'm impressed you made it this far, is how this goes. And he's impressed with, so he has an emphasis exclamation at the end there. Omae tachi yoku kokomade koreta. I'm impressed you made it this far. Super NES, you cannot go any further. No, that's not what it says, so I took off a point. J2E. And they put spaces, instead of every time there should be a space, they put a dash or a hyphen. It's an unusual style, it's kind of neat to see. You made it here, it says. I would have liked to say, I would have liked it if it had said, I'm impressed you made it here. It used to say, well done making it here. Yeah, so it used to be, the impressedness used to be in there. It was removed, so I'll take off a point of J2E. Uh-oh. Didn't J2E? Oh no. All my points are wrong. Because I did the save state. Okay, I have to do some special math here. I don't remember what it was before we did that save state. So I'm going to have to do some weird math. I mean, it's not like a whole lot happened. Drat. You guys know what I'm talking about? Because remember, J2E used to be under 400. But then when I did that save state and the cheat code, I shouldn't have done that. That was stupid of me. It reset everything. Reset to the start of the day. Yeah. So for tomorrow, I'll try to recalculate things and see how it goes. I'm gonna figure something out. And if I get it wrong, let me know, you guys. Oh yeah, we can move to the numbers. Yeah, let me know what the numbers are, and then I can reset. Okay. It was negative. Okay, so it was negative 477. Oops. Negative 409. It was nice to have this way. Negative 457. If this is the case, then that's very helpful. Thank you, Nowonk, and everyone who's helping. Thank you. Even if like someone beat you to it, thank you for trying to help. Okay, so I just now took off a point for Super NES, and I took off a point for J2E. Yay! Thanks to everyone. The power of chat has fixed my mistake. Thank you, chat. You did a heal spell on me. Alright. Here we go. You made it here. Naming way. I don't even know if this text is in there. You will not progress. Yeah, that's not even in there, so naming way I'll move. Alright. The next line here. Okay. Someone pointed out that it needed to be fixed, so naming way I fixed it. Alright. Daga. Tadori tsuku koto wa dekite mo sushi no kristalu wa omae tachi ni no te ni modoranai. So I'm speaking like an alien just because that's how it sounds to me in my head, but he's definitely speaking with an unusual, uncanny voice in Japanese. Alright. However, even if you manage to make it here, the Crystal of Earth will not return to your hands. So you can see he's got quite strong like grammar, like dekitemo, got the koto wa. So it's not just like the Hulk talking, it's actually like someone speaking full sentences, and not just simple sentences, but like, you know, multi-layered sentences. All right, so that's how that goes. Super NES says, "You cannot take my crystal." I don't really like how that came out, so. J2E. But you cannot take back the Crystal of Earth. Their use of cannot is interesting. I think I have a point there. Naming way just doesn't have that. Alright. Alright, the Dark Elf continues. Sonna sobi de kono watashi no Jiryoku ni kateru to omou ka? That means, with equipment like that, do you think you can beat me? You think you can beat my magic with that equipment? How that feels? So what I would say is probably more like, do you honestly think you can beat me with that equipment? Or do you honestly think you can beat my magic with that equipment? Yeah, you don't even need to see no Japanese for it to look weird. It just looks like a bunch of like straight things. There's not a bunch of the curly, loopy things. So, all right. So he's saying, do you honestly think you can beat my magic with that equipment? With equipment like that? So in Super NES that becomes, you cannot use metallic weapons, you cannot defeat me. So the metal part isn't even in there. This was clearly added in. And I would have liked the question. It's like a cocky question. Would have liked that. J2E, you can't stand up to my magic with equipment like that. It's not a question, but everything is intact otherwise. I'll say it's fine. What was it before? He used to say, do you think you can stand up? It used to be a question. Okay. Just for that, I'll take that off. Alright. Naming way. Without metallic weapons, I am invincible. No. He's standing up to his magic power. Alright. To this, Yang shouts, Seshiru Dono, and that means Sir Cecil. I got that right. Yeah, just the spaces. And he's saying, Sir Cecil. And then Super NES Yang says, don't worry. So originally in Japanese, they're saying Omae Tachi. That's you, plural. I'm impressed that you people made it this far. Just to be clear. Alright. So Yang shouts, Seshiru Dono, Sir Cecil. J2E. Sir Cecil. Naming way is just Cecil. Would have liked the Sir in there. Tella then says, Koko wa watashira ni makasete oke. Leave this to us. See, leave this to us. So the idea is that Cecil is probably too encumbered by his metal stuff. Right? But Yang and Tella, they're not affected, remember, from the start of this whole cave? So they're saying, we got this. Leave this to us, is literally what's that saying? Leave this to us. Super NES just says, we'll do it. And that's, I would have liked that to be better in Super NES. I remember that was always kind of weird. J2E, leave this to us. There we go. Naming way, leave this to us. Okay, good. Now we got to fight, and I might lose this fight, you guys. So, let me know, chat. So it's Dark Elf everywhere. Hooray. Alright. So what is a good way for this guy? What's a good way to kill this guy? You got high potions, I'll be okay? Alright. Oh, okay. So we did an attack. And the Dark Elf now shouts in this tiny text box, Oroka na, fools, soro kochira kara ikuzo. Now it's my turn. That's kind of how this goes. The time has come for me to go. That's how this goes. And we can see the tonal change suddenly in the Super NES, where he's actually speaking proper, like, full grammar in Japanese. But in Super NES, he goes, me attack you. And he sounds like the Hulk. J2E says, fools, I will kill you now. Naming way, time to die. So he's mocking us. I would like that. This, like, fools. He's calling us fools. Would have liked that. So I take that out of naming way and Super NES. Then he's saying, now it's my turn to fight. My turn to do this stuff. J2E says, I will kill you now. No. Alright. Time to die is also kind of wrong. So he's going to do some special, like triple spell on us, I think. Fire 2, Ice 2, or Bolt 2, and then Ice 2, right? Ooh! Tello did not survive. Tornado. Tornadoes take all of our HP super low. Okay. To this, like we're struggling now. Tella's dead, Yang's barely alive. And then Yang says, Dameda, ... Kachime ga nai, ... And he's saying, it's no good. We have no chance of winning, is how that goes. In the Super NES, it just says, oh, ... Took that point off. J2E says, it's hopeless, ... That was fine. It could be better. Hemingway just goes ag. Would have liked that better. Okay, Cecil then shouts, or he doesn't shout, he mutters, Ken side skyreba, ... If only I could use my sword. Alright. Super NES, well, if you want to know, here's Ken is not there. Okay, whatever. Super NES says, we can't, ... That's kind of weird. J2E, if I could only use my sword. And the reason they're able to have the second line is because they programmed in a second line for this text box in J2E. Used to say, if I could use my ... So the word sword didn't exist in there before. Sword should be like the main key. Naming Way says we can't. Alright, so everything looks hopeless for us. And Tella, even though his HP is at 0, he shouts or mumbles, so, and it's like, damn it, something like that. Or like, crap. You could even say shit. You could say dung, if you want. So, looks like I gave it more dots than are actually in there. That's interesting. Maybe it's, I wonder how that works. Okay, Super NES, he says, my dear. So they're definitely not going to have him swearing in Super NES, so I took off a point. J2E, it says, damn. He used to say help, period. That one's funny. What's a good one? Oh, that's not funny. Naming Way says, good heavens, ... That's tonally way off. Help. Good gravy. Alright, so we're just like so bad. Sid has nothing to say. The scene mosaics out, and it looks like the Dark Elf is going to kill everyone. Tella has fallen, Sid has fallen, Yang has fallen, and Cecil again repeats his line, Ken side skyreba ... exclamation. If only I could use my sword. Super NES, if I can use my sword. The word only is like super important in there. I would have liked it. Like this only. I won't mark it off though. J2E, if I could only use my sword. Correct. Okay. Then Naming Way, if I could only use my sword. So everyone's pretty close in here. But Cecil is going to fall. Looks like the game is over, but we pull out of the scene, and then we're taken to Edward, and he's in bed. He suddenly wakes up. Seshiru Tachiga, Abunai! Cecil and the others, they're in danger. That's how that works. Super NES, they're in danger! Alright. It's pretty clear. I don't think he needs to restate Cecil, necessarily. But it would be nice, but it's not necessary. J2E, Cecil and the others are in danger. So yeah, that's pretty literal. In Naming Way, they're in danger, ... Would have liked the delivery on that to be the exclamation. Listen to that music also, and then this delivery here. Alright. Edward slowly walks out of his bed and falls down. He's trying to get to his harp. The doctor and the nurse rush to him. And it's unclear who's talking, but one of them says, Mada ugokeru karada de wa arimasen. You are still in no condition to move. There's an easy type change. We'll see that in a minute. Right, you're in no condition to move. So there's multiple people talking. as we can see in Japanese. However, Super NES is unclear who's talking. Super NES loses a point. 2 points for not listing who's talking. Alright. Okay. Mada ugokeru karada de wa arimasen. You're in no condition, still no condition to move. Doko e iko to you no desu. Where are you trying to go to? How that goes. Super NES, stay in bed. You cannot move around. Where are you going? Alright, I'm okay with that. J2E skips that problem that the Super NES does and says, you're in no condition to be moving, and then puts that in quotes. And then in the second quotes on a separate box says, where do you think you're going? That's pretty good. Naming way. Stay in bed. The doctor is specifically speaking here. You gave credit, the wrong credit, because we don't know if that's true or not. Stay in bed, you're in no condition to move. Now there's two people talking. You're confusing who's speaking. Although it kind of makes it clear. No. Looks like the doctor is saying both lines. Alright. All good. Let's continue. Gilbert says ... Shinpai iranai. There's no need to worry. Super NES, don't worry. What are you doing, J2E? Right. J2E might be doing something. Might be up to its nonsense. Alright, so that line is just missing. You don't need to worry. J2E is going to take... J2E. So J2E says ... my harp ... ugh. We'll get to that on the next line. Alright, so naming weight also doesn't say there's no need to worry. Are we there yet? Not yet. Alright, next part. Sugu soku no tategoto made ... ugh. I just need to get to the harp right over there ... ugh. How that goes. Super NES. I just want to get to my harp. Ouch. Okay, very good. Very good there. J2E. My harp. Ugh. Alright. Naming way. Just let me get to my harp. Ag. Alright, it's all in there. Then someone else says, like one of the two unstated people says, Anata wa mada aruku koto sae mama narana ble. Anata wa mada aruku koto sae mama naranu hazu. Muri o shite wa. You shouldn't even be able to walk yet. You're still not even able to walk properly yet. You mustn't overexert yourself. How that works. So saying that you shouldn't be able to walk yet. Mama naranu. Yeah, it should be like out of your control to be able to walk. You shouldn't be able to walk yet. So that part about not being able to walk is missing. In Super NES, J2E. Okay, Super NES says, I told you, do not overstrain yourself. J2E. In that condition, you won't even be able to walk. Don't overexert yourself. It's a little clunky, but it's all in there. Naming Way assigns this text to the nurse for some reason. Took off the point. Please, Prince Edward, listen to the doctor. No, that's not what's being said. That's one sentence. Okay. There's two lines that were lost. Alright. Gilbert then says, kind of offhandedly, like he's kind of cool with this line. Kama wa naisa. ... It doesn't matter, or I don't care. But it's pretty cool. That saw is pretty cool. Alright, let's see. I don't care. I don't mind. It doesn't matter to me. Is how this goes. Let me do this, period. Took off a point there. J2E, I don't care, ... Okay, good. Well, yeah, so that part where I, like, couldn't say it out, I couldn't, read it very well, Mama Nara nu Hazu. In the easy type, that became Dekinai Hazu, and that's a more standard way of saying can't or cannot do. Shouldn't be able to do. Mama Nara nu Hazu is a little fancy, which makes me think that is probably the doctor, maybe. Alright. Let me do this, is what that says. In naming way, take that out. Alright. Next part. Seshiru tachi o sukueru no wa boku shika ... inai. The only ones who can save. The only one who can save. Okay, let me take out those ... It means I am the only one who can save Cecil and the others. But with the ... it's halfway through. He's saying that I'm the only one, I'm their only hope. Super NES, I must save them. I mean, sort of, but not quite. J2E, this is the only way to save Cecil and the others. That's correct. I'm gonna say it's okay, but I would have liked to have pointed to himself. I am the only thing that can save him. I'm the only one who can save them. Naming way. I must save them. It's just the Super NES, but with dots. I'm being real picky on this, but this is when everyone's about to die. I want to be careful here. So he looks up, the doctors and nurse fling away from him, and he slowly walks toward his harp. Slowly makes it to his harp. He now has it. He's now playing his harp. He's playing the harp. We're back at the crystal room, where our 4 party members are nearly dead. Narration text appears. Hiso hiso kara Girubato no tategoto ga kikoete kita. From the Whisperweed, the Gilbert's harp can be heard. Like somehow you can hear it from the Whisperweed. His harp. And his exclamation. Super NES says, TwinHarp made a sound synchronizing the tune played by Edward. So they kind of simplified everything by saying there's a second harp. And it's playing the exact same thing that Edward is playing. What's actually happening is Edward has probably another Whisperweed. And by playing it, the sound of the harp goes to the Whisperweed, and the Whisperweed can transmit sound, remember? Far off. And so maybe ours is picking up that sound, and that's how we're hearing it. So it's basically a fancy plant life walkie-talkie communicator device. It's not a harp. It's a plant that does music or sounds. All right. Because of the weird change, we've already taken off points for the TwinHarp thing. I won't do that here. J2E. Gilbert's harp, capitalized, can be heard through the echoer. Alright. That fits with what they called it. Naming way. Edward's harp could be heard playing from the Whisperweed. Alright. Everyone does exclamation there, I'm glad. Yang goes, oh, ... And that's just like an O sound. But it's ... Super NES gives it an exclamation, but it's in there. J2E does the ... Yang has no text in this naming way, so I'm taking off a point. Tella also says, Kono atatakai neiro wa ... What is this? Warm... What is neiro? It's like the sound of a thing. How does this thing call it? Warm... Tone? Warm... Yeah, like this literally means what is this warm sound color, but neido is like the sound of something, the tone of something. What is this warm tone, ... Or this warm tone is ... Super NES, this becomes this melody is suggesting that Tella knows what this melody is. Like maybe this specific melody, he's heard it before from Edward? I don't know. I'll say it's okay. J2E. This warm sound is... Would have liked warm. Yeah, this is a positive vibe, so would have liked warm in the Super NES there. Warm sound. J2E says the warm sound, so that's good. Naming way. This melody is... It's the same as Super NES, so take off a point. Cecil says Girubato no tategoto da. It's Gilbert's harp. So he's kind of finishing Tella's sentence there. This warm tone, it's Edward's harp. Okay, Super NES. Edward's harp. You can see how he kind of completes the sentence in Super NES too. I'm glad to see that. J2E. This warm sound is Gilbert's harp. Okay, the flow works in there too. Good job. Naming way. This melody is Edward's harp. Okay, the flow is intact there too. The Dark Elf says, Nanda kono fukai na oto wa gu ge ge ge. What is this unpleasant sound? Gu ge 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 ge. Alright. Fukai is like unpleasant, discomfort, displeasure. Super NES. What? What is this nasty music? Ugh. Alright. J2E. What the? What is this horrible sound? Ugh, ack, uck. Okay. This is probably the best voice acting I've ever done in my life, so I'm gonna get into the Game Awards. I mean, the Game Awards are kind of a joke, so I could get in there, right? Naming way. What is that nasty sound? Ugh. Okay. And then the weird sound is back. And the Dark Elf is flashing. And mosaics are happening. And other sounds are happening. Alright. Gilbert's voice can somehow be heard, I guess. Gilbert says, Imada seshiru. And that means now, Cecil. Alright, so he's speaking specifically to Cecil, and he's giving them the plan of attack and explaining the whole situation in this text box here. So first, that now Cecil is missing in Super NES. J2E says, Cecil, attack now. This attack doesn't need to be in there. I'll say it's okay. He's not talking to Cecil in naming way. Take off point. Kono neido ga nagareteru aida wa yatsumo Jiryoku wa ayatsuru koto wa dekinai hazu da. So while this tone, this like sound, is playing, he or it should not be able to control magnetic power. Like not even him should be able to. There's an easy type change. What's going on? We'll see that in a second. There's a space at least though. Gotta type in a space. Alright. Alright, so Super NES does a weird thing. It says Dark Elf cannot control metallic weight while I am playing. Metallic weight. Is this where the gravity thing comes in from J2E? We can see the gravity mistake down here. There must be a problem. It's saying that the Dark Elf cannot control magnetic power, not metallic weight. So I'll take off a point there. Okay. J2E. While this music is playing, he shouldn't be able to control gravity. Technically, I don't know if Dark Elf has a gender. Let's just say that it's correct though. So gravity is wrong. Again, I pointed this out at the start of the stream that J2E's translator continually mistakes gravity and magnetism. Magnetism is Jiryoku and gravity is Jūryoku. Jūryoku. Don't know why they do that. Alright. Naming way. The Dark Elf cannot control the magnetic field while I'm playing. Technically, there's should not be able to. Yeah, J2E has it in here. Shouldn't be able to. That's sort of I would have liked shouldn't be able to here in Super NES in the naming way, but I won't mark off on that. Alright. And then the next line, Gilbert continues, Keno sobi surunda, ... exclamation. Your sword, equip your sword, ... exclamation. And then in the Super NES, they put that at the very first line. Wield your sword, ... exclamation. I'll say it's fine. J2E, your sword, equip your sword. Okay, good. Naming way, they do the same thing. Naming way does the same thing, moves it to the top of the sentence or the text box. Draw your sword. Okay, we'll say that's fine. And then Cecil, so the whole party now is back on their feet. And Cecil says, Wakata, ... Girubato. And that means, got it, Gilbert. Or like, I understand, Gilbert. Like, here his delivery is like, you know, he has the ... a little bit like weaker. And then he gives a lot of assertion. Like, he's now like fully powered up with his resolve. He's ready to like, he understands the situation now. The situation is in our favor. So he switches to the exclamation here. Super NES. It's Edward. No, he's responding directly to Edward. So that's weird. Super NES gets off on that. Don't know why you would do that, so we get this. J2E. I understand, ... Gilbert. Okay, that's good. Something like, I got it, or alright. Something would work well in there too. Naming way. Let's do this. So he's not like acknowledging Gilbert at all. Gilbert gets no credit. So we'll give off a point there. The party recondenses into Cecil. Cecil takes a step back. Here's where I can do, we're 45 hours in, by the way. Going to, oh, we're all healed up. Nice. Everyone's healed up. It's time to equip. We're going to kick some butt now. Got Mithril Hammer on there. Mithril Armor, right? That ruby ring's probably pretty good, right? I'm gonna keep that ruby ring on. Okay, Cecil, we're gonna put okay, Cecil's, I wanted to get Cecil's Legend sword so that he'll have the holy element. I'm looking at the chat, trying to like look at the chat and figure all this out at the same time. What about, and let's look at this. 18.8. Okay. Mithril Helm. Mithril Armor. I'm currently equipping metal stuff. I'll just leave the ruby rings on. Alright, Tella, you're probably okay. Yeah, Tella, you're fine. Right? I think. Yeah, you're fine. Alright. Doing a save state, but we've learned the problems of save states, so we gotta be careful. Right, here we go. Everything is set. Time to attack. Alright, we're talking to the Dark Elf. Ga go go. Yokumo. And then he's just kind of like making sounds like ga go go. How dare you? Omae tachi korosu. Exclamation. And here's where he's starting to talk kind of like the Hulk. I kill you people. I kill you all. Kind of like that's how it feels. It feels like a non-native speaker would probably sound like this. Omae tachi korosu. So he uses the word korosu, which is to kill. You know, I'm pulling it up right there. Korosu is to kill. You're not going to use the word to kill in Super NES, so it becomes grr, you. There's no kill in there. I'm taking that out. J2E, arg, damn you, I'm going to kill you. I guess that's fine. It's kind of something sillier than I would like. Naming way, you. All right. I'll just take that 1 point off there. I'll just go. All right. Time for fight. Time for boss time. All right. So that same attack that was used on us before that devastated us, he's trying it again, but because we're more powerful, it's kind of not that great. What can I do? I'm gonna use some of Tella's weird. I'm just gonna try that out, see how that works. Tornado, no! Haha, didn't work good. I like that the music plays on this battle. For this point, anyway. Sasayaki is a whisper. I didn't see what it said. Oh well. Or like a murmur. So I do like a black magic. What's a good black magic here? When he changes form, use tornado. He's trying his triple attack again. This feels like the delta attack that they should be doing later in the game, but maybe they learned it from the Dark Elf, the delta attack. Tornado, not again. Don't tornado Sid. He needs to fly his airships. Alright, we have new text now that we've drained his HP a little bit. The Dark Elf now says, Naraba Sugata Kaeru shika nai. In that case, my only choice is to change form. Alright. In Super NES, that becomes very trimmed down to the dumb caveman talk of, me change. J2E, you leave me no choice. And naming way, grr erg. Alright, so grr erg is definitely wrong. You leave me no choice. Used to say, now you'll see my true form. That would have been better. You leave me no choice. Is it okay? It's not wrong, but it could have been better. Alright, so the Dark Elf now is turned into a scary looking gray white dragony thing called the Dark Dragon. Okay, the Dark Dragon in FF4 Japanese is called the Dark Elf in Super NES. So he never did change. He said me change, but he never changed. So Super NES lied to us all. J2E is Dark Dragon, and naming way is Dark D. Has D in the name. It has the will of D. Alright. People say to do Tornado. As I recall, that is pretty good here. I'll wait for him to get it off. And Tornado reduces HP like crazy, so Sid is going to attack and kill him. Yeah, he didn't get a name change. He didn't file for his name change. Right, we have 5,000 gil and 1,500 experience. Cecil leveled up. It would be great if he now gets his spell here. Yay, he learned Telepo. And that is like short for teleport. Hooray. That's good for getting out of here. Sid leveled up, but he's dumb, so he won't learn anything. He learned to peep more. Yeah, we looked at the Fool line earlier, Flitchard. We looked at that, and I even did a Game Genie code, and then I messed myself up by doing the Game Genie code. It was a whole thing. Okay, the Dark Elf now says kuku ... naze ano oto ga koko made. So he's going, how did that sound get here? And then he continues. Well, let me just go to that part. Super NES. Why did that music reach here? Okay, fine. J2E. Erg, how did that sound make it here? Alright. Naming way. Curse that music. So he's not like asking how it got there. Alright. What's the easy type change? Oh, is there some spaces? There's a bunch of crazy sounds happening. I apologize. I gotta close the door. Alright. Oops. Okay. Okay. Next part is Kristaru sae areba ... Ein no inochi ga ... So if I just have the crystal, eternal life can be ... So he just wants it for eternal life, I guess. I just need the crystal for eternal life. Super NES. Give me the crystal, period. The everlasting life, period. It's kind of clunky, but the point is conveyed, I guess. J2E kind of goes off the rails a bit here. It's like, I just need the crystal to live forever, is how that feels in Japanese. J2E. But I have the crystal. Why can't I attain immortality? It's not like, why can't I? He's just saying, I need it for that. Okay. Naming way. The earth crystal was supposed to grant me eternal life. Okay, this line is pretty weird just all across the board. I'm gonna restore this point here. No wait, I didn't take out the point. Okay, I'm just gonna just say everything's okay because it's kind of wonky here. And then the Dark Elf goes, Gugagego. That's just more nonsense screaming things. I think this might be another one of like the kind of Japanese fan favorite death sounds. Alright. And then the Dark Elf disappears and dies. Cecil says, Yatta zo, Girubato. And that means we did it, Gilbert, or you did it, Gilbert. It's hard to say who did what, because he doesn't really say anything. But he's talking to Gilbert and saying, we did it, or you did it. Super NES, thank you, Edward. Okay. It's like a celebratory thing. I'll say it's fine. J2E, you did it, Gilbert. All right. Naming way, thank you, Edward. All right. The Unga stuff, that's just it. He's a dark elf and screaming and making sounds. All right. Now the crystal is in front of us and we can just go home now. Bye-bye, everyone. We're gonna go back in. We checked the crystal in the crystal room. Tsuchi no Kristaru o te ni ereta. Obtained the earth crystal. Okay, Super NES. Acquired the crystal of earth. J2E. You got the crystal of earth. And naming way. Received earth. I'm pretty sure the PS1 version just does say earth. You received earth. Like the planet or the soil. I'm going to assume that maybe this is my mistake and there should be like a little icon here on naming way. I'll say that. That's my fault. You got the planet. Received Venus. Venus is too stinky. Alright, so we can go through this place again if we wanted, but we're going to... Yeah, it just says Earth and Earth there. Okay, we're going to use that item that they were so kindly gave us. The Japanese version so kindly gave us this item right before this doorway. It's the exit, emergency exit. We could have also used the spell that Cecil just learned, the teleport spell. We had many options. Fate gave us one, and the developers gave us another. Okay, I'm gonna risk it. I have to take 2 steps to get to the black chocobo, and Sid is at 2 health. I made it. Okay, now we're back in the chocobo forest. We're gonna take a yellow chocobo. Get over here. We're gonna take it down. I think I cleared out everything in that cave, right? I didn't miss anything. I like that I can walk around in here, but I can't go up there. Let's take a look down here. There's nothing down here, and that's kind of disappointing. There's nothing down here, guys. That's why we're here. Anything out here? I recall there's after year stuff here. Nothing important I missed? Okay. Should we still call it Cave Magnus if there's no magnetic cave there? That's a good point. I don't think it had a name. It was like just called the Jiryoku, like the Cave of Magnetism. It didn't have like a proper name like it does in the Super NES. Alright. So, let me move this here. Alright, so I gotta do something about my equipment. I'm gonna do that in here. But I don't intend to do any more story today. I don't intend to talk to anyone really. We'll do that soon, but while here, let's get our good stuff back on. That mithril thing. Oh, he can put on the mithril helmet, right? Do I have one? Yeah. Alright. He needs that. Looking at Ying's stuff here now. Okay, I'll say that's all good. Tella, I don't think has a whole lot to do. Let's give him this. Yeah, okay. Okay, that all looks pretty good. Now let's sell a bunch of stuff. Well, yeah, I put the good sword back on Cecil now. This is like my first time kind of keeping him in the back like this. I usually keep him in the front, but using that glitch is kind of nice. This place doesn't have high potions. Alright, let me sell a bunch of my junk. I don't need the light shield anymore, I'm pretty sure. Don't need the light helmet, knight armor, gauntlet, great bow. I think it comes in handy at some point. Let's get rid of it for now. Ruby rings, I'll just get rid of those. Get rid of that. Just doing my equipment here. Oh, not that one. Well, yeah, the claw, the fairy claw. I need to do that later. But we shot 40 arrows while we were in there. That's kind of neat to know. Okay, while we're here, I'm going to sell these bomb fragments because they're not very helpful. I want to get like the heal walls because all this junk is annoying me. Okay, I'm get rid of normal potions now. I don't need normal potions anymore. Alright, anything else? Escape doll, I don't really know if I care. I can just give it to someone. Those holy arrows are good. Alright. Just gonna move some stuff around real quick. You guys will have to watch me be annoying. we got the diet food here. Wasn't there one more thing out here? Oh, he used the unicorn horn. That's a really good one. Alright. Kumo no Ito, put that there. Stick all this junk up here. I need to drop some of this stuff off at the Fat Chocobo eventually. Then, let's see what else. Yeah, all the scape dolls here. And that, Kuar Whisker. I wonder, I should use this on like someone really like fitting. Who should I use that on eventually? Let me know. Maybe there's like a cool enemy I can do that on. Oh, it feels kind of nice to have all this cleaned up now. There we go. Why don't I use the sort? Because I like to have this slot open here. Right here. This is where my new items will pop in. Anytime I get a new item, it'll pop in right there. And then I like to have all my potions on this side, and then like all equipment stuff on this side. Sort will just kind of like tear through it all. It's good for like doing the stacking. This is my method, patented 1992. I'm pretty sure everyone is going to say the same stuff here. I think people in Toroia Castle will say different things though. Alright, so actually there's not much more for us to do today. It's time for me to go talk to Poe, and then we're going to have some food. This is actually a good stopping point for this too. That way we can start all of the Tower of Zot stuff tomorrow. So this time tomorrow we'll be doing Tower of Zot. So be sure to follow me on all the things. Follow me on your MySpace. Alright, let's see. Current score. If everything has gone properly, because I messed up earlier, Super NES is now at -497. And remember, we started from 100 points. J2E is at -416. And Naming Way is at -481. So we're all in the -400s at the moment. It's kind of sad to see them all this low. But that's just how it is. Like, when things get cut, this is what it looks like. This is what we got back in the day. We got probably a -1,000 total when we got FF2 Super NES. We got a lot of stuff cut out. Alright, so that'll be it for today. See you guys tomorrow. We'll do Tower of Zot. And then, yeah, we'll do the Castle of Toroia, Tower of Zot, come back. What happens after that? I don't know. Maybe people have new stuff to say, new towns, and we'll find out. But that's all. See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming by, everyone.